If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Kash, shall we start? We have 7 participants.
Yes,
Wait
sir,
for
please.
few more.
You can start the session. So meanwhile, we'll wait. Trainers will join.
While we wait, anyway, we have just a short round of introduction only. Let's
Yeah,
just
please.
start with it. Want to say something, or let me straight away start?
Uh, yeah. From my side, sir, by end of the session, I'll be taking LMS explanation session. So yeah, that's the update for trainees.
LMS
You
what?
can
What
start
session?
start it now.
LMS what you said? Sorry, LMS
LMS explanation session.
explanation. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have given access to all participants. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
and we want to make sure that everyone have the access to LMS. So
All right.
we
Yeah.
will check with all trainees, each and everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rajan. You can just Rajan Durai. You can call me Rajan, and I have sort of 20 years of SAP experience, pretty much in the warehouse management module. I have done uh, around 10 implementations as a solution architect or a lead consultant, pretty much in warehouse management and shipping and also transportation. I started as a consultant and then worked my way through this warehouse management solution. Prior to EWM, the predecessor of EWM is DWM, Decentralized Warehouse Management. So we have done several implementations in the ECC warehouse management and in DWM, and then in EWM, both in the decentral EWM and also in embedded EWM. The S4HANA, the newer ones, past 3 years or so, and pretty much implemented for wholesale, retail, life science, high tech, and also the IS oil, the industry solution, petrochemicals, the downstream IS oil petrochemical business. Yeah. So all areas, in the EWM, inbound, outbound, and then the ground control, all areas of EWM, and also the integration areas with the quality management and production integration. These are my I would say like strength, wherein the integration comes in a typical implementation that has to be integrated with production. That's where I have some good expertise. Let's have a quick intro. You just let me just go with one by one. You just tell your how many years of SAP experience, and which module experience, and what exactly you are looking at. We know we are going to talk about the EWM capabilities, the features, the functions, and also hands-on. These are basically a 40-hour program. Um, Pretty daily, like 3 hours, I think, right? Every day 3 hours, and then roughly we are targeting some 13 days to 14 days. Let's see how it goes. Um, so all I want is how many years of SAP experience and which module experience, and what's your objective other than the capabilities, the processes, the configuration knowledge. Is there anything you specifically you're looking at, or we can cover that as well. So this is basically fundamentals only. Not yet started the the overview session, but just a fundamental one. Why warehouse management? What is warehouse management software or application, WMS, right? What exactly it is, a need for EWM. So why there is a need for EWM, and how EWM has evolved. We are not going to go back all the way to 2005, but at least what has happened in the past 4 or 5 years. And then what are the functional areas within EWM? Like for example, purchasing, we have sorry, the module, we have purchasing, then the inventory management and invoice verification. Similarly, what are the functional areas within EWM, and which industries are best fit or best suited for this EWM? And a high level process flow, a basic demo, maybe a 30,000 feet level demo, a vanilla demo, I would say. And then what are the deployment options available, and the system integration between the ECC instance and EWM S4, how the integration needs to be done. and also the document integration, how the document flows between these two systems. But let's talk about the inventory management. What are the features and what WM or EWM is going to leverage. Whenever I say WM, it's a ECC WM, warehouse management, the existing solution, which is going to be obsolete by 2027. Now, objectives, as I said, explain the need of warehouse management and expectation. Why EWM? Evolution of EWM, functional areas, the industries. Okay, so let's see what, why, and which. Understanding of inventory management. So inventory management, we can manage the stock, quantity management and value, right? We can just manage both quantity and value. We have the visibility of the stocks at the storage location level. For instance, if you go to the MMBE, the transaction code, you can see the stock overview at the plant level and storage location level. And also we can see the different stock types like unrestricted, block stock, customer return stock, quality stock. So these are the four, global stock types, I would say: unrestricted, block stock, customer return stock, quality stock. Customer return stock is neither your stock nor customer stock. It's still going through some, investigation, or you need some investigation. Basically, it's the mistake of customer, or the carrier, or whether it's your own mistake. So it's still under some decision making process, I would say. Quality, you guys know, right? Just going through quality management, inspection lot, and yet to be decided. And some special stocks also, right? For example, the consignment, the WBS project stocks, or even the the returnable transport packaging, the ones which are toggling between the customer and vendor, moving back and forth, right? For example, the cylinder, or the crates, which go and circle back and come back to us. Actually, maybe you do some repair and then again send it back to the customer. You want to track how many crates lying at the customer place. So these are called RTP, returnable transport packaging. And also inventory management by value, right? We have the real-time GL account, the material document posting, the finance document posting, and then the the cost accounting. These are pretty much real time, and also we have some nice reports which shows the opening stock, and then the receipts, and then the issues at any point in time. Stock as on 1st May 2020, stock as on 11th. You can just basically give a time horizon and then see what's the opening stock and what's the closing stock, and in between, what are the receipts and issues. Similarly, IM, we can do physical inventory also. We can always check whether the book inventory and then the physical inventory are in alignment. So if there is any mismatch, you can correct them, right? By using a physical inventory process, we can just ensure that both the book and the real world are in sync. And also inventory management has a good integration with the MRP, the material requirement planning, purchasing, sales and distribution, and with the PPPI, the production planning and process industries, LE, logistics execution, and QM as well. So these are nice features of inventory management. Those MM consultants or SD consultants, they can appreciate a lot. These are the features or functions which the WM module, or regardless of whether it's a ECC WM or EWM, it's going to leverage. We're going to leverage these functionalities and then make the best use of it. So there would be synergies, when you extend the inventory management to EWM, you tap on these functionalities. There any questions on this slide? I'll pass here for a few moments. Feel free to raise your questions, guys. Aditya.
It's clear, Rajan. No questions, sir.
Clear, right? Okay, no questions. Now, what are the challenges? We are not comparing IM with the EWM at all. At the max, we can compare ECC WM with EWM, but IM, as I said, it's just a of complementary functions, or what are the functions which we can tap into. That's what we are looking at. On the same time, we are looking at IM challenges. Why people will go for warehouse management solution, right? Because there is a lack of visibility. At the end of the day, we don't know whether the picker really picked it, or whether it's in the pack workstation, or which stage exactly it's in the shipping process or the dispatch process, right? It's sort of black box. All that we are doing is printing a material document or a pick slip, and we are clueless, what exactly is happening on the ground. And most importantly, the physical steps and system steps are not aligned. When I say physical steps and system steps, we most likely we print a material document and we hit the books by the time. For example, we say we have to pick some 10 quantity, and then we print a material slip or a material pick list. We give it to the operator. When he goes to the exact bin location, he spotted only 8 quantity. That means the 2 quantity, he has to come to the system and then do post facto reversal or corrections. So which is quite ugly, because there is no opportunity for him to do the correction on the fly, maybe using a mobile device environment. Otherwise, as you guys saying, right, we need to develop some custom mobile data screens in order to support the inventory management transaction. The real pain point, I would say, is physical and system steps are not aligned, which needs a post facto or mostly post facto corrections. Are required, right? And limited visibility to location of materials. People keep the things on their hand, on their head. Actually, they don't know if it's too much. Then they would be wasting time in searching, and uh, the picking activities would be delayed and put away also, on their whims and fancies. They go and do the binning as they like. Actually, it's not a system guided way of efficient storage. So they can go and bin the material, and maybe they can maintain a register. If there are too many bins, for example, more than 500 bins or more than 700 bins, it's very difficult to keep a tab on them, or in the memory, human memory. So rather, they will keep a register, and then they will search the register, and then they will update the things in the document. Um, it's quite cumbersome and tedious and error prone. Cross docking. If you are not using deliveries in the inbound, for example, the vendor is not sending the ASN or there is no electronic collaboration, then the cross docking is sort of ruled out. What is cross docking? If there are incoming goods and if there are back orders, meaning there are deliveries, which are waiting for the materials. In that scenario, if the incoming goods are there, there is no point in doing the binning. Rather, we can immediately move it from the goods receiving staging area to the goods issuing staging area, from the GR dock to the goods issue dock. That is called cross docking. So it basically avoids the double handling. You no need to do the binning and then retrieve it. Actually, there's no point. Actually, when there are some urgent orders, we can directly move them to the staging bay. These are some of the challenges, I would say, using inventory management. Any questions? So we'll start the day at 9 a.m. and maybe I will run the show for 1.5 hours or 1 hour 20 minutes, and then we'll take a break, maybe 10 minutes break, and then we will run the second session, straightforward. And mostly, I think we have agreed. Let me just reconfirm with Syed. The exercises, I'll give maybe a 20-30 minutes time at the fag end of the session. The last 30 minutes, we will allocate it for your exercises and some support required. You can just carry the momentum, maybe try to catch up the next day. There are complicated exercises, I would say, but I will just go all out and explain them. Uh, Try to understand as much as you can, but at least do the vanilla ones at least. I'm not expecting you to complete the complex one, but try to understand as much as possible uh, the real scenarios, real world scenarios. But at least you try to do get a feel or hands on, and also appreciate some core concepts while you do the exercises. So now, why to store goods? Anyone? Why there is a need to store goods? Why can't we directly produce and then keep it on the floor and then immediately dispatch them? Why do we not need to store the goods in the first place? Why do we need warehouse management? anyone, Subha, Aditya, or Shravan, yeah, 10 years, Srinivasan, sorry, KV.
In a make to stock kind of environment, where we produce and stock the products, so we will be manufacturing based on a forecast that our customers will provide, right? So it is
Mm.
not always that we make to order, that if there is an order we manufacture. In that case, there is no need, there is a need for minimum storage. But to have some safety inventory or to have some backup stock, we will always have some raw material and some finished goods in our
Right,
warehouses, and
right.
that we need some proper storage so that we do not have pilferage or damage to it.
Yeah, excellent, yeah, Aditya. Yeah, we need to, regardless of whether make to stock or make to order, we need to carry some inventory. Maybe based on our planning, right? We have something called recommended storage quantity. What are the optimum levels? Different SKUs may have different levels of keeping the inventory. Some may be needing, maybe a 3 weeks inventory, or some may be needing 4 weeks inventory. Depends on the demand, and also the sourcing needs. Like for example, if the lead times are very tricky, or especially with these kind of things happening, the Suez Canal, or the decoupling, the pandemic, many things are happening now. Supply chain uncertainties are there now. So with this in mind, there is a need, obviously, regardless of whether make to stock or make to order scenario. We need to keep some buffer inventory, or as I rightly said, some inventory holding things, depending on the SKUs. So that's why we need warehouse management. Forget about the customer service level or the satisfaction. The other things will come later, but the core, the bread and butter, or the main function is to fulfill the demand, whether the demand could be a customer demand or a STO demand needed for another plant, or it could be a demand for a production manufacturing facility. So broadly speaking, the demand can be originating from customer or other plants, or from the production manufacturing. So that's why there is a need to store the materials, and there is a need for warehouse. Maybe a centralized warehouse, or a hub and spoke model. Close to the regional DCs, or the point of sale. So why to store goods? Depending on the volume and diversity of products you purchase, produce, sell, and distribute, you may have different requirements for storing these products, right? Store the goods. The main thing is to fulfill customer orders, production needs, and stock transfers. Demand versus supply, right? It could be seasonal demand or constant demand, whether it's MTS or MTO, make to stock or make to order scenario. We need to store the products. Yeah. Make to order maybe very less. Service levels and customer satisfaction, loyalty, these things comes later. How much we are trying to achieve the service level. We don't want to cut a sorry face in the customer when he orders something at the last minute. Still, are we able to serve them? These are the things which comes in the later, actually. The on time delivery, the customer service levels, um, yeah, accuracy, the delivery accuracy. These are the other KPIs. But the core thing is we need to fulfill the demand. Supply chain uncertainties, it's like you're going to a hotel, and then you're getting all options, but the main thing, you're landing maybe at odd time, maybe 11 p.m. If you're not getting a water bottle, then your experience is a different experience. So supply chain uncertainties, disruption, we talked about the decoupling, right? All that makes this quite imperative, the storage of goods or the warehousing needs. Now, understanding of warehouse, right? What do we manage? What exactly is a supervisor managing in a warehouse? Stock and bin, right? Optimize the inventory. We need to keep the inventory at the optimum level. At the same time, when we say optimum level of inventory, obviously the space is very effectively utilized. Then we store the inventory in an efficient way, optimized way. At the same time, we fulfill the demand, and the demand priority demands, right? The demand which are coming with priority, that needs to be honored as per the priority. And manage the warehouse workload, right? We manage the warehouse orders, which is a pure warehouse workload. um, and also the resources. When we say resources, we have the human resource, and then the material handling equipment, the MHE, which is your forklift, your crane system, your turret stock picker, different types of equipments are used in the warehouse to do the unloading, to do the put away, to do the loading activities, and so those needs to be utilized effectively, and also the human resource productivity plus the health and safety and well-being is also paramount. Any questions on this understanding? I'll just hold it for a second. Clear? How about the freshers? Chandru, Saurav, Swarna? These are okay so far?
Yes,
Clear.
Rajan, understood.
All right. Right now, what are the typical activities carried out in the warehouse? I use an umbrella term. It's quite ambiguous, but we are not, debating. Receiving, I say. Receiving means, I actually speaking, receiving and put away. Let's just decouple the put away and keep it separately. Say receiving and put away. Uh, let's see. So receiving, what are the activities under receiving? Unloading, deconsolidation. Deconsolidation means, for example, if you receive two items on a pallet and both the items needs to be separated before doing the put away, that is called deconsolidation. Simple term. But deconsolidation, there are several use cases. We will see them as we progress in the coming days or in the coming days or the coming weeks. But deconsolidation essentially means you are getting a mixed bag situation or a mixed HU handling unit, um, wherein you want to separate them before doing the put away. That's called deconsolidation. And VAS, value added services, means you are doing like for example painting, removing the rust, or honing, grinding, polishing, shrink wrapping, labeling, customer specific, logo application, application of the logo. So these are called value added services. When we say value added services, this is an umbrella term which encompasses pretty much, broadly speaking, two type of activities. One, to increase the, the longevity of the product or the shelf life of the product. The other one, customer specific needs. For example, customer specific labeling or packing, or you know um, yeah, basically these are the things. Rebranding, applying their customer logos, all that activities are called value added services. Quality inspection, EWM doesn't support the outbound quality inspection, but EWM supports the inbound quality inspection. So the incoming goods, you do the sampling inspection or 100% inspection, or some high value items, you may be doing accounting. You fix a responsibility to a person and ensure that they are counted before being put away. So these are the things, as part of the receiving or in the inbound processes. Mostly we have the unloading. Unloading means the truck or the TU, the transportation unit, is docked to the door, and then we unload the goods, mostly the palletized goods or the carton boxes, gets unloaded, and then we do the deconsolidation in a workstation. Value-added services also performed in a workstation. Workstation is nothing but a table with the people doing some activities, maybe a desktop computer, or a printer or weighing scale. Okay, that's where people do the activities. What are the typical activities that we do? We don't do any manufacturing or any, complicated assembly, but at the max in a warehouse, these are the activities we do: value-added services, deconsolidation, quality inspection. Okay, unpacking. Packing, of course, it's customer specific packing. It could be using a VAS order. VAS order means a detailed instructions given to the operator. For example, they have to pack by keeping the buffer and then a layer, and then the label has to be put on the right bottom. Some special instructions, especially these instructions make sense when you have a rotational workforce, when you're dealing with the, subcontracting workforce. And then coming to the outbound or the shipping part of the story, we say PPSL, pick, pack, stage, load. Only four activities predominantly we do: picking, packing, staging, loading. Staging means temporarily, we are keeping the goods just before loading, ensuring that they are packed and labeled. The serial numbers are captured, and blah blah blah. All that verification activities we say staging just before loading. And at some point in time, with the GR and goods issues are triggered. These are system postings, meaning we deplete the inventory, or we jack up the inventory. So by triggering the goods receipt and goods issue, these are the activities carried out in the warehouse. We trigger the GR, we trigger the GA, and as Aditya or someone said, most of the time in a warehouse, I would say 90% of the time, or more than 90% of the time, all that the operator would be doing is using the mobile device, the ruggedized device. But nowadays, people are using the smartphones or the tablets as well. But in a dusty environment or in an industrial environment, the zebra devices, the quite ruggedized device, they are used. At the same time, they are now coming with a good user interface, a nice screen, touch screen, and also the weight is not a huge one. Maybe they're coming with 200 grams or maybe 150 grams. It's not that use 1 kilogram or 900 grams. That heavy devices are gone nowadays. So the people would be using the devices and then they confirm the tasks. The task could be meant for put away or pick in or replenishment. Any questions or any understanding issues? Let me know. All good? Is
Yeah,
following?
good to go, Rajan.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's a understanding of warehouse management software, right? What is the general expectation from any WMS? Doesn't matter whether it's a ECC WM or EWM, or we don't know the Red Prairie, the Manhattan, the olden ones actually. So what is expected from any WMS? Okay. A WMS is a software or application that helps control and manage the day-to-day operations in a warehouse. These are keywords, helps control and manage. On the one hand, we should have the control, and then comes the management, right? So we should be able to control the documents, control the people. That's the supervisor's job, actually. You need an efficient software so that he has the visibility of what's going on and take some proactive steps, before it becomes too late. Guides the inventory receiving and put away. Basically, the operator needs to be guided, whether it's a pick in or put away. He needs to be guided in the mobile device, because they are basically, uh, not that educated. Those operators are maybe just having a basic diploma or a degree, so they're not having any clue about the strategy or anything. So the user interface has to be simple, at the same time intuitive, and also robust enough, without providing more loopholes for them to make any mistakes. So it should guide basically to do the put away and picking. Especially put away is important in real world also. If you have done the put away correctly at home also, then picking is easy. Analogy, right? You see, you keep your wallet on the rear pocket, maybe on the mobile on the left pocket, and maybe a handkerchief on the right pocket. Automatically, your hand will go, right? So there's no rocket science actually. So similarly, in the warehouse management also, put away has to be efficient. When a put away is more strategic, and we ensure that we have done a proper design. Picking is not a great thing. Picking is simple. At the end of the day, we do a first in, first out, or a last in, first out, you know, or a quantity optimized picking. Picking is not that complicated when it comes to strategy, but put away has to be more strategic in nature, and picking is more tactical in nature. Yeah. And also, the WMS software should advise on inventory replenishment. For example, if you are buying huge quantity, you need to know how much you have to replenish. Replenishment, you can take the analogy of a kitchen example, like you buy the um, cumin seed, or the mustard and the pepper, and whatever, the turmeric you buy in maybe 500 grams, or even some people they buy 1 kilogram also, and then you top up, right? Every day needs 20 gram or 30 grams. You keep replenishing them in small containers so that you can use them in your day-to-day kitchen, the tadka or whatever, right? So for that, that's a good example of replenishment. You buy them in huge quantity and keep them in a buffer area, and then you replenish them to the forward picking area or the fast moving area, especially called as the pick phase, right? The kitchen example is a nice example for replenishment. So the WMS should support and advise the inventory replenishment also, based on the minimum maximum levels. You maintain a minimum level. For example, the 20 gram. Whenever the mustard goes below the 20 gram, you just trigger a replenishment again. Yeah. So it can be a standalone application or part of an ERP system. So when we talk about S4, Anna, it's all in one, right? Everything in one instance. But also EWM supports decentralized warehouse management as well. So just keep in mind there are two options: embedded and decentral. So these can be a standalone application. Pretty much nowadays people are focusing on their core competencies only. Like for example, the Intel or the Kraft or even the Unilevers, they are focusing mostly. Maybe Unilever is a different game, but let's talk about the product companies like Apple, Kraft, or Intel. So these guys, they are focusing on their core competencies only, and the warehouse management is decent, or it's basically given to the 3PL, the third party logistics service provider. Also we call them as LSP, logistics service provider. So these guys are quite experienced or seasoned players. They know the system or the processes inside out. So their focus or their core competencies is to manage the warehouse efficiently and ship the goods in an efficient way. So WMS core functions, right? Track the amount of material that's stored in the warehouse, track every bin that holds a material. On the one hand, we track the material. On the other hand, track the bin, right? So the tracking is the old function, right? Nowadays, our main objective is not tracking. Tracking any damn system will provide the tracking. Simple system also will provide the tracking. Tracking used to be very challenging in early 2000, but we have crossed leaps and bounds. We have moved ahead of the story now. Now we are looking at optimized inventory, high throughput, um, collaboration with the robots, or the drones, usage of the IoTs. So these are our new challenges, the business challenges now emerging now. Tracking is a very basic or bread and butter function now. But nevertheless, that's the core function. We don't want to dilute the core function, so that's why we are stating the core function: control and record. So if you see, the TCR is important, the tracking, control, and recording the moods movement. And SAP is damn good at it actually. SAP keeps everything in the form of record. Whatever we do, there is an underlying document and it has a header and item, and we keep a system of records. That is the, I would say, strength of SAP. For these many years, SAP core strength is it has a document for every action we perform. There is a document. There any questions on this slide?
Rajan, just one question. Based on your experience, did you see any of these 3PL providers using SAP EWM? Because some of the 3PLs that we have worked for, they have like external WMS systems which they prefer to use because they say it is easily configurable as compared to an SAP EWM. So is that
Yeah,
true?
agreed. The small and mid-sized 3PL, they have their own legacy things. They are quite comfortable in having an integration with even the automated systems like the Dematics or so there is a thing evolving actually. But you see large players like the FedEx, the DHL, all have implemented SAP only. The Fox, what is it? Linfox in Australia. There's the biggest 3PL player, Linfox. They're all running SAP only. Yeah. At the end of
Okay.
the day, you can't. SAP is a giant, in terms of integration. And now, even though it was like not immediately jumping the gun and getting into this robotic things, but still it takes time. Like the Tata only, it takes time, but it's steady and you see the Titan and other things are slowly evolved, but now these are giants actually. Similarly, SAP, there's no escaping. All the biggies are in SAP only because of the integration. The main thing is integration. Everything in integrated with all the other modules, and they will have their ECC also, SAP ERP, as a pass-through system. They may be integrating with the heterogeneous landscapes, but still they're using the the S4 and core as a pass-through mechanism. As you rightly said, all the small players are still running their own legacy application or the in-house developed ones. Okay.
Okay.
Nutshell objective. What is the nutshell objective of any WMS? We have to deliver the right goods to the right customer at the right time, right? Right goods to the right customer. We don't want to send some, for example, the customer is asking for a country of origin, India. You don't want to send maybe a Bangladesh, or Sri Lanka. So we have to be super clear on what the customer is ordering, which batch, or whether what shelf life he is asking for, minimum shelf life considerations, and the batch requirements. We don't want to send a earlier batch, a fresh batch, and the old batch sitting in the shelf, and eventually getting expired at the maybe the next day itself. So at the right time, that's more important. On time delivery and consistent on time delivery. We don't say like on time delivery. I'm getting ordering a distillery, they're coming erratic. They don't follow the schedule because they're giving it to some local enterprises, and it's not consistently followed actually. So we get a different experience from these guys actually. So when we say on time, it has to be a consistent on time, not a one time on time and then forget the remaining days. And an efficient way, again, when we say efficient way, it's just all encompassing term. It means with the optimized space, we don't want to occupy a huge warehouse and then utilize the warehouse maybe 30% or 40% of the capacity. We want to utilize the warehouse to the maximum extent. At the same time, the resources, the human resource, and then the MHE has to be productively, efficiently used. Their productivity matters actually, and high throughput, right? So the turnaround time should be faster. The customer asks for a same day delivery or the next day delivery. Your warehouse should be very nimble or agile enough to deliver them, or act to the changing priorities. For example, the priority orders, the customer coming in and changing the orders, we should be able to adjust to their schedules or to the changes, and to the delivery timelines, shipping schedules. So these are the main things expected from a WMS. At the end of the day, we are execution oriented software, right? We are not doing any planning or any purchasing activity. Here, it's all execution only. How best we execute, that's what matters, right? Especially with these challenges in the e-commerce and the omni-channel, more and more challenges are emerging in the warehouse management. So that's why we are our warehouses are getting more sophisticated or more complex, and at the same time more nimble and simple user interfaces. Okay, now why EWM? What's so great about EWM? For that, we should know about WM a bit. So for those folks who have not worked in warehouse management, so the warehouse management, we have something called transfer order. There is a document called transfer order, and we use the document to do the put away, pick in. So let's try to understand put away. Put away means we are receiving and then doing the binning. That's called put away. Placing the goods in a bin is called put away, and when we remove the goods, that's called picking. So there could be some nice pictures in the Google you can see. Let's see them in the Google, maybe put away picking. I should have some images as well. Let me just stop the sharing and see if I can pull some images. mm, Not great things, but yeah, I'll just share some images for the beginners or for the freshers. To start with, let's see some images. Like so this is how the staging dock, where this is the transportation unit or the vehicle, right? And then you see these are the different handling units. We say handling units. It could be a case, or it could be a wire basket, or a cage, or pallet, or a TU, transportation unit. This is a TU, transportation unit, or a container. This is a vehicle or a truck, and then this is a crate. Crate could be a, you can say, crate or a plastic tote, wherein you see the plastic tote, the big basket totes, plastic totes, or the wire baskets, or the the warehouse cage. And these are the cotton boxes. And then some other images. Just quickly run through these images. So this is a unloading activity or a loading activity. We do the cotton boxes gets a floor loading, or you load a palletized goods, unloading the vice versa. Okay, now. So this is an automated warehouse, right? A high bay warehouse. Because of the space constraints, you go vertically, 60-meter high also. Maybe 60 meter is what? 180 feet, 18 floor high, right? Yeah, it's okay. 18 floor high or 20 floor high. The crane, this is a crane, going and fetching the pallets. See, this is a high bay warehouse or automated storage warehouse. Swiss Log is a, company, one of the pioneer in just in this ASRS. ASRS is automated storage and retrieval systems. The crane goes and grabs the pallet and also does the put away. One location, one pallet. So this is basically you're doing the staging and doing some verification, or you're unbundling them before doing the put away. So this is a Zebra device I was talking about. So you can see this is a ruggedized device. At the same time, this is not that heavy. It's just tuned to the evolving conditions. Instead of a smartphone, this is highly recommended, especially when the environment is dusty and more potential for any breakages of the smartphone, or so in that environment, industrial environment, these ruggedized devices are quite handy. Then what other things we have? The images receiving put away. Let me just run this. This is the typical rack storage, and this is your forward picking area or pick face location, where you stand at 5 feet level. It's you can lift the goods on hand itself. There is no need for equipment. So these two levels are called pick face locations. So this is your buffer area. From here you move the goods to the reserve area. Sorry, this is a reserve or buffer area from where you replenish the goods to your forward picking area. The kitchen example which I gave, right? So the kitchen example, we have two different storages. One is your reserve or buffer, the top racks, and then this is your forward picking area or the pick face locations, right? So now, yeah, this is a shelf area, maybe a shelf storage. Like your bookshelves, or at home also we have the kitchen, the kitchen cabinets, right? So these are your shelf storage, and forklift, everyone knows forklift. Okay, now with different things, yeah. So this is your warehouse, one more way of depicting the warehouse. So you see the layout here. um am I audible? Are you guys seeing my screen? All good?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes, Rajan.
Rajan.
Right. So this is a door, this is called a door where the TU or the vehicle is docked. And then what is the difference between the vehicle and TU? The moving part is the vehicle, and then the fixed part, where you just dock the TU to the door, and then this moving part can go, and it can remain in the parking bay, or it can go back also and then report, come back, and then pick the TU. This is transportation unit or the container, you can say. Then this is your staging base. You receive the goods and you keep it for a while, meaning you check them, you do the visual inspection, maybe you do some labeling, maybe you do some counting, and check the shape and the contour, and if something looks damaged, physical damage, or any uh, what to say, like leakages, or the part is damaged or any impact, then you can return it straight away to the vendor, or you can just keep it aside and then return it, or maybe tomorrow. Once everything is good to go, then maybe you are doing the put away. These are the ones which we talked about, the automated storage and retrieval system, where you are growing vertically because of the space constraints. And this could be your crane, the one showing in orange color is a crane. For example, you are receiving something from manufacturing also, assuming the manufacturing is a adjacent facility, or it's happening in the complex adjacent to the warehouse, and then you are receiving them, the pallet, on a conveyor from the production line. And then the crane, the sensor is detecting the contour, the shape, the label quality, blah blah blah, all that the sensor is detecting, and then it is handing over it to the crane, and crane is doing the put away. Similarly, we have the regular shelf storage, or very high density storage. You are again, maybe you are using some automated equipments to retrieve them from the high density storage. This is your normal rack storage, and after you pick it from here, maybe it's the cartons may flow on the plastic tote, or on the carton boxes, on the conveyor. These are the conveyors, and then it comes to the workstation, where you do some labeling activities, or doing some value added services, like a customer specific packing, and then it is staged, and then loaded, and then the TU is dispatched, or you trigger the goods issue. So these are the typical activities which happens in the warehouse, So if you have not seen the warehouse, all that we are dealing with in the warehouse is a pallet or a carton or a wire basket or a cage or a drum. These are the things wherein we store the goods. And then we talk about unloading, staging, maybe move from one workstation to another workstation. For example, you do quality inspection and then to the VAS workstation, or from deco workstation to the VAS workstation, and then you're doing a put away. Similarly, when it comes to outbound, all that we are doing is PPSL, pick, pack, stage, load. That's it. Only four things. PPSL, pick, pack, stage, load. You do the picking and packing in a work center or maybe on the fly packing, and then staging means you're doing a overpacking or consolidation, putting some labels, printing the packing slip or manifest, or maybe serial number capturing, and then that's it, loading and then issuing it out, triggering the goods issue when the truck departs from the door, or when the truck departs from the security checkpoint. You can trigger the goods issue. Any questions on the warehouse layout, especially the freshers?
So, Rajan, how many packing levels we have?
Packing levels depending, right? If you're a Red Bull or a Coke or a beverage company, then you have multiple packing levels: inner pack, a can, and then a carton, and then a layer, and then you have the pallet.
Okay. So all these packing levels are done at the workstation or the in the different place?
It depends, right? For example, some areas maybe you do the can picking or each picking. Some areas you may be doing a layer picking, and regardless of whatever being picked, it has to be packed at the pack workstation. Normally, in the pack workstation, a dedicated area where you have the shrink wrapping or the packing, materials, and also, as I said, a weighing scale, and maybe at the bare minimum, a desktop computer is required, and people sitting and doing the work, little relaxedly or
Okay.
focusedly,
Yeah. Understood,
But
Rajan.
but if you are picking a complete pallet, maybe no
Hmm?
packing required, right? It can be directly moved to the staging area,
Okay.
and all gets merged in the staging area, because the customer may be asking some SKUs as palletized goods, some may be layers, some may be cans, or some may be cartons. So different products coming from different source storage types, and all of them are merged, and we dispatch them together. All that required for a single customer or for a single store, a retail store, for example, a DMart store or a Reliance retail store, all that are required, we may be sending them in one shot. Some SKUs may be pallet load, some may be carton load, some may be very high value items. Maybe you send them in individual eaches also. Yeah. Eaches. All right. So one more way of just to get a feel of it. So this we talked about high warehouse, automated storage and retrieval systems, the high bay warehouses. These are your typical pallet storage or rack storage. This is a rack storage again, wherein we have the fast moving items kept here, and you replenish them. And also this is like flow rack. We call it a forward picking area. The general name is called a primary picking area or forward picking area, or also called as pick face. I would be synonymously using these terms, but the right generic term is called a primary picking area. Why primary picking area? Because these are fast moving items. We replenish the cartons maybe from behind, and this carton boxes would be flowing by gravity, because this is at an inclination. So this lady, she may be moving a trolley or a cart, and then they may be doing the each picking. So we do the each picking, and once the carton is done, the carton is thrown, and the next carton will automatically flow. But it's called a flow rack as part of the Fikin area. And this is your mezzanine. Mezzanine means, right, in the hotel, if you go, there's a mezzanine. Mezzanine means the room with the lower ceiling height. So here they can't carry any equipment. They could just do the picking by hand, pick by hand, and mostly you receive a carton load or a tote load, and you store them. You don't distribute the quantities, and you pick the complete carton. So this is called a mezzanine storage, and this is your work center. This is a packing work center. A lady is there, sitting there, and then the case or the carton is coming on a conveyor, and then we do some packing, customer specific labeling, some instructions or the work strips is or the image is shown in the desktop computer, and maybe a weighing scale, and one more person to assist to stage them and keep them. Yeah. So this is a floor storage called as a bulk storage, where we store them like the consumer goods, like the refrigerators or the washing machines, where we stack them one above the other. Maybe a fridge, you can go two stack only, or maybe a washing machine, a tiny washing machine, you can store three high. This is a floor storage, especially for the consumer goods and also for the chemicals, the petrochemicals, like the polymer, the polyester, or even for the fresh goods like milk or um, the bakery items. We don't want to store them and retrieve them, right? Rather, we can keep it on the floor and then issue it out. So this is called a bulk storage. So now you get a feel of, warehouse management. You can Google them. You see put away means, you receive them and then move them on a forklift and do the put away. So whatever the items that are staged, good to go for put away. See, this is called put away. The the forklift is carrying the pallet and then doing the put away. Maybe he's just giving it to the crane, or he just drops it in the cantilever. The cantilever are these bins which are, projecting from the racks. The forklift will go and drop it in the cantilever, and then the crane grabs it from the cantilever and then does the put away. There any questions, guys? All right, let's continue now. So what are the EWM? I'll just take 10 more minutes. Let's just go for a break. Why EWM? Let's look at two different ways of EWM. Why EWM? One is the architect pitch, the other one is the sales, the consultants who are into pre-sales activities, or the sales experts. And the other one is the functional consultant. If you are sitting at the client's place and then doing the solutioning or the requirements gathering, you should be able to justify why EWM, or maybe it's already justified, but still we need to educate the SMEs, why EWM, to still justify their investment. Yeah. Or some people maybe still carrying their rhetoric. Actually, they say, oh, WM is much better, WM is much better. To stop their voices, or to just put a full stop to that, why EWM? First of all, you should be convinced, why EWM, before thinking about uh, if WM, right? It's always easy to fall in the WM trap. WM, it's much better. No, no, EWM. I would say, based on my experience, having worked on WM and the DWM, I would say simply, four times EWM is feature rich, function rich, or capability rich. That's EWM. So, what are the typical KPIs that needs to be fulfilled in EWM by EWM? And let's see. So why EWM? As I said, the primary function of EWM is bin level management. Because in inventory management, we don't have bin, right? As I said, maybe we can manage the warehouse. If there are only 500 bins, we can manage them by a paper-based warehouse or by maintaining a register. But if it is more than 500 bins, just a number, it could be 1,000 also. It depends on the smartness of the people. So there is no escaping. It has to be warehouse managed, meaning bin level
Rajan,
managed.
sorry to cut you. Are you sharing your screen?
Oh my God. Oh, I'm not sharing. Sorry, yaar. Uh, that's why, yeah.
Yeah, we can see now. Yeah, thanks.
So that means, okay. Okay, the primary function is the bin level management, and then the bin determination for the incoming goods, which we said, right? Very pertinent or very important one, because the moment you store the goods in the right place, then the picking is not a rocket science. So the weightage or more importance should be given for the incoming goods. It has to be stored at the right locations. based on the product size, the dimensions, the weight carrying capacity, or the velocity of the products. Stock removal for outgoing goods, that's also important, because we don't want the poor guy to go like a headless chicken and searching and or coming back and blaming, or saying that I went there, but unfortunately the product is not there, I am waiting for the replenishment operator. All the stories we don't want. Stock transfers, as I said, it's just not for customer deliveries, but also for stock transfers or replenishment. For instance, we talked about the replenishment. Whenever the moment I say replenishment, the kitchen example should come in your mind. Then the physical inventory management. So we need to obviously, ensure that your book and your real inventory are in sync. Otherwise, the trust is lost. The moment the trust is lost, people will do a lot of override. They will not believe the system, right? And they keep riding the system, and then they give a damn to the system actually. And supervisor would have tough things in bringing the discipline actually, because people lose trust in the system. So they just keep overriding, and then some point in time we need to scrap the implemented solution and implement a fresh solution. Yeah. So what are the additional functions EWM is bringing in? Whenever we say EWM, the first thing should come in your mind is, before this slide, let me just go to the architect pitch. Let's take where the sales consultant at for the time being, and see how we can sell EWM. So EWM is built for a complex and high throughput warehouses. So what do you mean by throughput? Anyone, any volunteer? What do you know by throughput? Throughput is a very generic term, right? You guys are consultants for 9, 12 years, 10 years. What do you mean by throughput? Hello.
Uh, the number of transactions that we process in a day.
Beautiful. Who's it?
Yeah.
Aditya.
In a generic term, it's more or like the amount of data that we process. Or
Exactly. Yeah. For example, if you're in Bangalore, maybe, Madiwala or Martali signal, how many cars are moving, right? In a peak hour, for example, morning 7:30 until 10 a.m. How many cars are passing through the Madiwala signal or the Martali signal? So that's throughput basically. So how many delivery lines are shipped out from your warehouse within the time span, the critical time span wherein you're running the um, time aligned to your carrier pickup time. For example, the carrier is coming every day morning 10 a.m. and again by 5 p.m. So your wave is released, and your critical activities are running to align with the carrier pickup time of 10 a.m. You are running your warehouse from morning 7 a.m. So it's the 7 to 9:30 is a critical time. So how many deliveries you could stage and keep them handy or dispatch them within the 2.5 hours or 3 hours time span? That is your throughput. Yeah. So as for in-memory advantages, right? I say Siri. Siri is like simplification, innovation, redundancy, and integration, right? So these are the four things which are important for the S4 memory, S4 HANA implementations, right? Simplification, innovation, redundancy. We don't want the data duplication or the carbon footprint. The integration is paramount, right? Integration is essential. Yeah? At the same time, while retaining the decentral advantage, this Siri advantage is there for the embedded customer, meaning if you are implementing EWM in one box, uh, we are for sure, we don't do any duplication. So the redundancy is taken care, and simplification, it's not nightmare. People are working in a single environment. There is no master data duplication. But if you are using a decentral, it has its own advantage. For example, like a client like a Unilever, where MNC client, they have warehouses spread across the regions or countries. Uh, Obviously, the response time or the speed is important in terms of the milliseconds or microseconds response is important. You can't keep the server in Germany or in Singapore. The server has to be close to the regional distribution centers, to avoid the latency issues. Again, if you're having their region-wise warehouses, it's very easy for them to have a decentral approach, so that they can manage the warehouses and they can monitor the queues. Even if they are thinking of upgrades, you don't need to boil the entire ocean. They can have a flexible upgrades. All cannot go together, so we can have a phased implementation or phased, upgrade projects can happen. So these are the advantage of decentral. and forget about, if we are only supporting, if your recipe is only supporting embedded, then the Gartner research will put you in the the left quadrant or the lowest quadrant. So you got to be in the decentral to be with your best of the breed with the competitors. So that's why the decentral still needs to be there. And as I said, complex multi-geographical clients or uh, region multi-geography implementations are still taking the decentral approach only. Nobody mid-size warehouses, they're okay, they're going with the embedded. Yeah. So multi-channel support, we said, right? The customer is coming in several avatars actually. So we are sending push notifications and trying to somewhere attract him and get the business done, right? The omni-channel presence is more important nowadays. So you go to Chroma, you get an experience. At the same time, they're matching the price of the Flipkart and the Amazons. So you get best of both the worlds. So omni-channel presence is important. Multi-channel support. The warehouse should be able to support all the channels. The brick and mortar and the e-commerce things. The in-depth integration we talked about, right? Endlessly. You see how many modules EWM is capable of integrating with the bread and butter or PP, QM, and TM. The main ones are the PP, QM, and TM: production planning, quality management, and transportation management. The other aspects are GTS, the global trade solutions, where we the legal and stat requirements, right? Your debonding, the bonded warehouse, X bonding, debonding, and then the CRM, customer relationship management, and then the APO, which is your IBP now, the planning module, and the EHS, environment, health, and safety, in terms of handling the special items, the the pharma industry, the chemical industries, especially, or the defense industry or the DG industries. Yeah. ASRS integration, we talked about, automated storage and retrieval systems, the crane systems, the conveyor systems, the robots, the AMR, what is called autonomously managed robots, or collaborative robots, yeah, the drone systems. MFS is material flow system, wherein you integrate with your by sending telegrams or the iDocs, or web services. Network focus. EWM is no more enterprise focus. It is not within the four walls. It is basically collaborating with your stakeholders in a supply chain. Your collaboration could be with your packaging logistics provider, your shipping logistics, your freight forwarder, your carrier, your 3PL, analytics and reporting, right? Your warehouse insights, your KPI, your dashboards, your Fiori analytics, your user experience, user interface on the one hand, and user experience, the UI, the UX. Uh, there are several standard things are there, like the warehouse monitor. The cockpit is there, wherein you can have your giant, end on board or Samsung display, TV, LED TV, showing the different KPI analytics in the form of a pie chart or a bar chart or a speedometer. Nice displays, so that people are working transparently and they know what are the pending workloads, the operational reports being displayed. They don't want the supervisor coming and pricking them or following them with the paper, like the what they call the people following them, chasers, the people who chase the people, and get the job done. Those are gone, right? Those traditional way of the supervisor chasing the people with the paper based things are gone. And we talked about the digital next generation warehouse adoption, like the IoT, the RFID, the robots, the drones, whatever, crazy stuffs are going on now. But at least I like the pick robots, pick robots are really good. And the last but least, the WM support is anyway until 2027. Maybe they will, extend it by a couple of more years. But keep in mind, nothing majorly happened in the past decade. It's just a dead horse. There's no point in flogging the dead horse actually. So majorly nothing happened. Even medium level also nothing happened. Maybe minor, core issues are addressed by SAP. But the last 10 years or 15 years, I would say at least 10 years, nothing majorly happened. All the WM customers are left high and dry. Anyway, they have developed their in-house. A lot of custom developments happen, so they were applying a lot of patches, and running the show for the 10 years. Now it's time to move on to EWM. Are you guys clear on the sales pitch? How a sales consultant can sell EWM? Any questions? Aditya, Subha,
Rajan KV here.
yeah,
So
KV.
I'm clear on the warehouse. I mean, advantages of using EWM in warehouse, a
Mhm.
complex warehouse and all. So just in case, if the customer is looking for a solution which serves both complex warehouses as well as a simple inventory managed location.
Right.
So,
So the simple inventory, you
um,
have to say how simple is the simple, right? If it's a very simple lean setup, then the
mhm,
lean WM anyway is not supported. So they have to buy the stockroom management. Anyway, stockroom management is a standard offering within the S4 HANA suite, So they have to decide whether to go for stockroom management or take the basic license, and run the show with the embedded EWM. There's something called basic license and
okay.
advanced license.
Okay. I'm talking about the hybrid scenario. I mean, same customer. I mean, yeah, same customer. Let's
Yeah.
take one location with complex warehouse and the other location with just
Not a problem.
lean.
Some can be in inventory, some can be stockroom managed, some could be in
Yeah.
basic license running in embedded. Some complex warehouses, in certain geographies can run in a decentral also. So the client can have all mix and things together,
Right.
running coexisting together. Yeah.
So in that scenario as well, EWM works, or do we need
EWM
to?
works. EWM works. You just implement the RDS equivalent one or the standard warehouses, the 1710 template warehouses. Just copy them and
Okay.
do bit of manipulations or bit of client specific fine tuning, and we are done. Maybe the thing can be implemented within 2 months, if not in 1.5 months. So
Okay. So moreover, technically in the system, we are making it as a warehouse, though
right.
physically it's not a warehouse. Okay.
Why
Got it.
warehouse? Because you have the mobile advantage. You got to do the
Yeah.
put away
Yeah.
picking in a mobile, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Understand. Thank you.
Real-time updates, whether you want the API or the ITS thing, real-time communicating with the backend system. So that's why we need a warehouse, right? But if you can do with the inventory management, yeah, good luck, no problem at all. Or just take the stock room management approach.
Mhm.
Right. Now the architect pitch, you as a consultant, as a solution architect, how you keep the mouth shut, of the customers. Like even though they purchased, maybe you have to explain to them, why the EWM, or when you're doing the solutioning blueprint, you yourself should appreciate, why EWM. So I would say it's a operational complexity. There are three dimensions to it. One is the product dimension. Let me get the pointer. So there are three dimensions: a product complexity, a process complexity, and layout complexity. All put together, I would say operational complexity. So the product complexity means using extensive array of diversified materials, shape, size, a tiny O-ring, a washer, nut bolt, all the way to a orca or a giant, conveyor belt. If you go to Australia, the mining clients like the BHP, you see there are conveyors, rotors, big sieving machines, giant earth moving equipments like Caterpillar. So variety of products with shapes, assortment of sizes and shapes, and the one hand, right? On the other hand, we have the serial managed product, batch management complexity, split valuation, the international unique ID, which is a NASA or the defense industry, or the Putin's industry, So there is a unique ID required. So these are the ones. A lot of product dimensions. Then the nested HU. What is handling unit? Anyone? Any volunteer? What is HU handling unit?
Moreover, the outermost container which holds the goods, not
Hmm.
outermost in all the cases, but yeah,
All the cases, yeah.
yeah.
The product, along with the packaging material, together handled as one unit with a unique identification, is called handling unit. Let me repeat one more time. The product, along with the packaging material, handled as one unit, because it's easy for me. For example, I received a pallet load, assortment of items, especially in the e-commerce. Reliance, for example, they are receiving mixed items, cotton t-shirt, ladies t-shirt, men's t-shirt, or all that different variety of products they receive from the vendor. So that is called a HU, a heterogeneous HU or a mixed HU. It's easy to move them, to the sorting station where people can sort them before doing the put away. So that is a nice example of HU. So the HU can be not just pallet, right? It could be carton or wire basket or a drum or a TU or a container. So all that are called HU uh, in SAP term. It's just not a EWM term. This HU is a SAP term or logistics term, handling unit. So the great advantage of handling unit is it can be nested. It can be having a history, and if you are using something called SSCC, the standard serialized shipping container code or the QR code, so it is known to the vendor's vendor and all the way to the customer, meaning it is available in the entire supply chain. So even if you buy any mobile, for instance, a ballpoint pen, so a pen or a pencil, you have the barcode, JITIN number. So these are the global trade identification number, right? It is known to the everyone in the supply chain, all the stakeholders in the supply chain. So that is called HU. The moment you track with the unique number, the movement is easy. You handle them as a unit rather getting into the nuts bolts of it. So multiple unit of measures, right? For example, base unit of measure, alternate unit of measure, uh, pallets, cartons, layer, can, you know, um, pallets. So these are the different unit of measures. Catch weight, right? Catch weight. What is it? Catch weight? Anyone? KV? SD consultants might got some exposure on the catch weight here. Shravan, KV, no idea. Govind.
Mm.
So catch weight is the nice example is a fish or a chicken. You buy a fish, one fish maybe 500 gram, a pomfret, or another fish maybe 400 grams. So two different unit of measures without any correlation manage. That is called catch weight, or a chicken, right? You're buying 500 grams, another chicken maybe 800 grams, yeah, 700 grams, something like that. So that is catch weight, yeah. Process complexity, right? Process means a legitimate process happening in a workstation like value-added services or deco or kitting activities, quality inspection. So these are the activities which happens in the work center. So that's called process complexity. Your warehouse is not a simple warehouse. You don't do direct put away. Rather, you are doing n number of activities. You as a 3PL, you are responsible for increasing the product shelf life or doing some kitting activities. Kitting normally happens in a FMCG company. The gone, right? The big bazaar is gone now. Reliance or the Flipkarts, you do the kitting, the bulk breaking. You may be buying the atta or the especially the atta, the Ashirwads, right? You're buying atta maybe from the mill, maybe 1 ton, 5 ton, 10 tons, and then packing them in 25 kilogram bag or 5 kilogram bag or 2 kilogram bags. So that is called deconsolidation, bulk break-in. Or you do what to say, like service parts industry, like a Caterpillar, right? You may be doing service parts. You may be receiving, right, all the special parts, the actuators, the brackets or whatever you name it, the mechanical items, right? So those items needs to be kept in small packets, maybe one each or as a kit item. For example, normally whenever the parts it goes replaced as a kit. uh, you need to replace multiple SKUs as a kit. So, or in a FMCG company, right? You are running a campaign. You buy a shampoo, you get a conditioner free, or something else free, a toothbrush free. So all that you bundle them. It's called kitting activities. You kit them and keep them in stock. I think these things, this is what we're going to talk in the coming days. So better get a good understanding on these terminologies. Whenever I say VAS, deco, the acronyms you should be able to follow. VAS, deco, kit to stock, kit to order, and quality inspection. Then the layout complexity. The layout complexity again, the warehouse is a multi-level warehouse, or you have multiple pick and drop zones. It is not that the forklift is going and doing the binning. It is handing over it to the crane. The crane is doing the final put away, or you may be receiving in ground level one, and then doing the put away in the ground level, receiving in level one, and then doing the storage in the ground level. So multi-level warehouse, maybe a lift is doing the movement from the ground to the first level or to the second level. We call them as P&D zones. P&D zones are pick and drop zones. This could be equipment restriction or safety aspects, or or it could be simply the layout. You can't go directly, because you have to go via interim zones. Or we talked about the cantilever, or the yeah, basically the cantilevers. Then so right, whenever we say why EWM, simply say operational complexity. Anyone ask why, what's so great about EWM? So EWM is built for operational complexity. On the one hand, product complexity, process complexity, and layout complexity. When we say process complexity and layout complexity, it's a multi-step put away. You're not doing a direct put away. Rather, we talk about the internal routing, which is multi-step put away. Then wave management. Wave means grouping of delivery into wave. For example, you release a wave like a beach wave. The wave brings in. Of course, it's not bringing the fishes to the beaches, but imagine the wave is bringing the sardine, the tuna, all the fishes to the beaches. So it's easy, right? Wave brings the water to the shore or to the beach. Similarly, the wave ensures that the products are picked, packed, staged, and just in time. You can imagine like a airport, right? You're going to the airport and you're taking the flight. So that can be compared, that's a nice analogy to the wave. Say wave ensures that the supervisor can track. For example, you group them in a group. For example, I know who is performing, whether Aditya is really very interactive, or Shravan is interactive, or KV is interactive. I know. But if I just interact only with Chandru, I can't basically benchmark actually. So in a group, I know who are the problematic candidates, or who are the then I can take a decision whether I need some additional hand holding, or in when it comes to warehouse management, maybe I can just remove them and I can call the customer. I can say, sorry, these materials are getting delayed. Maybe I can do the delivery tomorrow. So wave management will help the supervisor to be on their toes. Extensive usage of okay, forget about these things. Even if you are not picking up the signal, it's okay. But just see, using the packaging specification with handling unit and with multiple unit of measure, we can do real magic, in EWM. And we talked about the HU handling flexibility. I don't want to repeat again and again, but just keep in mind, HU is a no escaping, because HU is a part and parcel of EWM. And then complex cross docking, right? It could be transportation cross docking, or flow through, or simple, EWM triggered opportunistic cross docking. So at this moment, you see cross docking means the incoming goods are directly moved to the shipping dock without being put away, because there are back orders or urgent deliveries. Slotting and rearrangement. Slotting means the premium real estate, for example, the Mumbai Malabar Hills, or the where the what the Lower Parel, those areas, or in Bangalore, you take the Indira Nagar, or the Ashok Nagar, or the Jaya Nagars. So these are premium real estates actually. So wherein you need to ensure that it's reserved only for the fast moving items. You don't want a slow mover unnecessarily, sitting on that area, or high value items. It has to be kept in the lock and key room. You don't want to linger them, in the normal areas. So these are done by the slotting. Slotting are the algorithms which will take the input based on the demand, or based on the uh, velocity of the products, or based on the recommended storage quantity, and it will come out with proposals. That is a job done by the slotting. Slotting makes sense for the high tech industry, especially where the obsolescence is quite uh, in a blink of an eye, or in a flash blink of an eye, things are changing, right? Today fast mover, tomorrow slow mover. So Samsung is introducing S20, 21, 22. It's getting obsolete sooner and faster. So that's where the slotting plays a major role. So for those industries, you run the slotting quite frequently. Service parts industry also, you run the slotting maybe in every week or every fortnight, and decide whether to scrap the items, or keep the slow movers in a different zone. So resource optimization we talked about, right? How to effectively or productively use the resources in the warehouse, whether the human resource or the MHEs. And then on the fly exceptions, right? Whenever we do the put away or picking in a mobile device, there could be real world exceptions. For example, you want to change a batch or change a bin or change the HU, you can put an exception code in the mobile device and do that. So for these reasons only, EWM is built for the kill. These are not supported in ECCWM. For example, if you want to do the multi-step put away, it's very cumbersome to do it in ECCWM using a module called TRM, Task and Resource Management. It's very difficult to do it. Again, there are no exceptions supported. So they have to come to the supervisor and then ask them to do the exceptions, by doing a reversal or cancellation. And the resource optimization, very difficult. At the maximum, we can drag the transfer order and then move it in a different queue. But if you want to bundle them and give a fair share workload based on the experience or based on the qualification, then WM is not supporting these activities. Slotting is not supported. Wave management is supported only at the delivery level, meaning the entire delivery has to be in one wave. It's very difficult. It's like saying to the if all the family members they want to go Delhi, Mumbai. There's no escaping. All have to take the same Indigo flight from Delhi to Mumbai. If some of the family members they say we want to go to another place destination, they can't do it. Meaning the entire delivery has to be in a single wave. So that is a limitation. For example, serial number management is not supported in ECCWM. It can be only at the delivery document level. You can't do a bin level serial management. In a given bin, I don't know what are the serial numbers available in a given bin. So many customers have gone for custom developments. So these are the things, why EWM. Is that clear? I know it's too complex slide, but just try to understand as much as you can. Anyway, we are going to talk in the coming days again and again, so it would be etched in your memory. So with
Rajan,
that,
one
yeah,
question on this. So does you mentioned about network focus, right? So it's not
yeah,
about only our organization. So
right.
does EWM provide any web-based portals for our suppliers or our carriers to monitor the stocks or any such apps are available?
Yeah, apps are available. All the Fury apps are available. For example, if you want to give your partner a packaging screen, right? You can give the Pack Work Center, dedicated authorization to your people. Um, and the collaboration, it's just not the packing or the subcon workforce. For example, the way smartly you configure a subcon scenario, or in-house the subcon guys coming to your facility and then doing the two activities. The labor management and capturing the activities also is supported. And if you're giving the picking alone to a, for example, if you're integrating with your AGVs and your automated warehouses, all can be seen in a single monitor screen. The supervisor can track that along with the regular picking as well. So this is what I meant by collaboration with your stakeholders.
Okay,
Yeah, you can give the Fiori applications to your partners. Yeah.
thank you.
It's like,
KPIs, right? What are the KPIs? Yeah, go ahead.
sorry to cut off you. This is Varna here. Basically, you told about wave management, right?
Yeah.
So a wave is created by different warehouse request, as you said. So
Wave
is
is
there?
wave
Uh,
could be meant for example, the carrier pickup time. So as I said, carrier coming 10 a.m. So you are
okay.
releasing the wave by 7 a.m.
Acha, okay. Is there any specific amount of particular benchmark for items or warehouse number of warehouses per wave? Like, how do we actually
Beautiful
segregating different waves?
question. Actually, initially you start with the gut feel. The supervisor having some gut feel based on his experience, and then there is something called capacity profile. So you can assign a capacity profile to the wave. For example, number of delivery lines or
Mm.
weight. Not exceeding 5 tons. So typically in a 3 hour window you can target 5 ton picking, or maybe 10,000 line items delivery can be done.
Mm.
Again, going back to the same example, the Madiwala Martali example, right? How many cars can pass through the signal in a peak time, peak window, you know? So, and then you can refine them. Okay, if it is, you don't want to do too many splits or merges, right? It is quite annoying for the supervisor. So over a period of time, based on your plan versus actual, the gut feel or the guesstimate will become a estimate.
Acha. Okay.
Got it right. Wave could be
Got
for
it.
different reasons. Just wave could be for a departure calendar, or it could be based on a ship to party, or it could be for a route, or it could be a
Okay, different
zone-based wave
routes.
also. Yeah,
Okay,
different purposes. Wave is across the board actually. Yeah.
okay. It depends on picking area as well, right?
Picking area as well. So take the example of of the like the you're going to the giant store, IKEA store or a hypermarket, right? Or maybe a retail store, right? You and your partner, maybe you and the husband going, right? So you're saying your husband is good in picking the staples. He gained some experience or expertise in the staples picking, and you are good in the vegetable and fruit section. So you guys can split and you can do the picking. That's called zone picking, and then you can merge at the workstation or the billing counter.
Got it, Rajan. Understood.
Right.
Thank you.
So that's called zone picking. Yeah. So for wave can be used extensively in several areas. It could be ship to party or a departure calendar. Departure calendar means like Wednesday you are going to the the northeast bound route, the Madiwala Martali route. The other end you are going to this Kerpuram. I guess from which city you guys are participating? If you can just say which cities. These years guys, from which cities you guys are there?
My work location is Hyderabad, and I am from
Okay.
basically from Andhra Pradesh, Vishakhapatnam.
Okay, mostly from Andhra. And which other state you guys are representing? We have 10 participants, right? Are you guys from Hyderabad location or which other location?
Rajan, I'm based out of Bangalore.
Bangalore. Okay, Bangalore, Hyderabad. Okay, Mumbai,
Hello,
Chennai,
Rajan. From Chennai.
Chennai also. Okay. Okay, so we have folks from Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, and that's it.
I'm currently in Troy, Michigan.
Michigan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm using the famous example, Martha Lim, Marivalli, KR
Yeah, I
Puram,
think Bangalore and Hyderabad, I think should be fine.
Hyderabad, right?
Most of the people. Yeah.
Mm, all good. Okay. Now, KPIs, right? The service levels, the maximize the service levels. Every time on time delivery, we talked about this time and consistency are the key, and high throughput also we talked about. Minimize the inventory cost. That is, the main CEOs or the CTOs, KPIs. Inventory cost has to be minimal. Space is a constraint nowadays, So even in India also, we don't have the luxury, right? We are spoiling the environment and like anything. So it's all vertical things. So for example, the Reliance guys, they have their vertical warehouses, or the Asian Paints, they have the automated vertical warehouses in the what is it? Uh, in the SEZs, right? In all the union territories. Yeah, Silvassa. They have nice automated warehouses. Let's say truck turnaround time. That is okay. We don't want the people coming and waiting while we call the truck, which is reported quite late, right? It's not a fair. For example, a truck reported at 7 a.m. has to be called early compared to the truck reported at 10 a.m. Right? So there should be a fair share way of calling the trucks and then doing the unloading activities. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to pay huge demurrages or waiting charges. And this is very important, managed by exceptions, though it looks very minuscule, only on an exception based. In a real world, there are n number of exceptions required. And the poor operator, he cannot always come to the supervisor office or, to the office to come to the trigger the exceptions. He has to be empowered. So how the KPIs are met? Again, same thing, wave management. And the beauty is the inbound and outbound has to be like a music actually, there should be orchestration happening. If the inbound is problematic, then for sure the outbound is screwed, because the inbound impact would be shown displayed in the outbound only. If the operator is not disciplined, the inbound operator is not disciplined. If your strategy is not properly done, the implementation is not done properly by TCS guys, then it's gone. The outbound picking is nightmarish actually. The outbound would be finger pointing the inbound operators actually. Yeah. Then we talked about the picking strategies complemented with slotting. So slotting will help you to guide the operator to the right bin. And wave management, right? We talked about wave management. The WOCR, the warehouse the creation rules, which will ensure that you're giving the right optimum package to the operator. Like for example, the KFC bundle, right? If for example the guy is having biggie or large appetite or heavy appetite, so you can have a king size combo to him, or a normal person with the not normal appetite, then you give a mini combo to him, right? So it's a bundle. It's just not the burger. It just comes with the French fries, the coleslaw, all put together is a nice bundle. You give it to the operator so that he can pick efficiently in a given pick trip, or in a single trip. He can maximize his picking. On the one hand, you don't want him to come frequently to the staging bay with part load. On the other hand, we don't want him to split the workload. When it comes to splitting, it's quite annoying, right? At the same time, locking thing, right? For example, if 500 delivery lines stuck with an operator, he's not going to do anyways. At the max he can finish 200 lines. So there is no point in assigning that much workload and then forcing him to do too many splits, while the other operators are dodging or not getting the enough workload, and waiting for this guy to split the workload. So that's why I meant by, whenever I say uh, workload, the warehouse order is nothing but an executable optimum work package, EOWP, an executable optimum work package. In simple terms, KFC combo or McDonald's combo. We order a combo uh, that we can finish it, right? We don't want to leave them. That's a simple thing. And resource management. So with the resource management tools, we can achieve those KPIs. The left ones are the KPIs. On the right hand side, we see the tools are the things at our disposal to fulfill the KPIs. Why people are buying EWM? With these tools only. If you know how to use these tools efficiently, or if the implementation is done in with professionals, then the client would be getting the benefits, the return on investment. With that, I think we'll head for a break. I'm just stopping the sharing. It's now 10:50. Let's take a 10 minutes, or let's say 15 minutes break. Let's come back at 11:05 India time. All right, and then the last 55 minutes show. Any questions before we go for a break, or you guys just feel free to put in the chat. All I want is just participation. I normally go in a little in a faster pace. Just slow me if you're feeling that I'm going in a really crazy speed. Just let me know so that I can shift the gear. Any feedback? Initial feedback from you guys? Syed, Govind, Aditya, Shrivan. All I want, participation. So one is just to keep the thing going. At the same time, I will ensure that you guys are engaged, and even the guys, freshers, I'll see, I can keep them at least. The main idea is to create the interest and to show the enormity of EWM, so that moving forward you can focus your energy and effort. At the same time, pick from my experience. I would say, no, always I would say the pigeon feed what I have collected in the 20 years experience, that will make you fly within 20 days. The pigeon normally flies within 20 days. All right, any questions, guys? If none, let's catch up at 11:05.
No, Rajan, it is fine.
This would be slightly more interesting for those guys who want to compare the WM vis-a-vis the EWM. But others, you can just stay focus a bit of history, and then you see how the ECCWM, why it has been not developed for the past many years. Mainly because the EWM was a strategic product for SAP. They sensed that way back in 2005 itself, and that's where they put in the money, and then the it has no robust product now, like your APO. This EWM is one of their best of breed product, and also the TM is now evolving. So now I am not comparing IM. That's why I just create out the last column. Right? Let's compare WM versus EWM. So straight away I would say, based on my gut feel, EWM. If you say WM is a X function, EWM is 4 or 5 times feature and function. It's 5x. Medium size and spread and medium to high volume, large size and spread and higher volumes and throughput, medium operational complexity, high operational complexity. When I say operational complexity, product, process, and the layout complexities put together. All the three dimensions put together is operational complexity. Traceability, visibility used to be the main requirement those days, in the early 2000, or the late 90s, or even up to 2010, 12. Business was very quiet only, not much challenges. Now efficiency, insights, space optimization takes more significance now. People talking about efficiency, insights, how to effectively use the space, and run the warehouse very efficiently, and dynamic, nimble, agile, these things only now coming into picture. The equivalent document in WM is called transfer order. Transfer order assignment to queue and TO prioritization is quite manual, and we have very limited way to split the TO. The TO split is required to split and create the KFC combos. At the same time, printer determination and other things. There is something called pick-in area. Equivalent of it in EWM, we have activity area, and there are many other things like the WOCR, the black box, which is quite important. And with resource and queue management being flexible and framework based, we can ensure that the EOWPs, the executable optimum work package, are assigned efficiently, or assigned automatically to the queue, to the operators queue, based on their experience, their qualification, experience, and the equipment constraints. All that can be considered, and there would be a flow happening. Um, the supervisor's intervention is hardly expected. He just needs to work only for any measures that are going out of the control, or just when he's tracking it, there would be some alerts coming on the way. So he just needs to pick that signal and then respond to those alerts only, while he work on the monitoring and reporting and other aspects and core functions basically. So HU with the AUM, we talked about it. Very many clients were skeptical in activating the HU management, because the HU management activation is at the storage location level, and it needs a partner location, and so on and so forth. So many clients were circumspect, or skeptical about activating the HU management. Whereas in EWM, the HU management is at the storage type level, meaning in a given bin, we can have both HU products and the non-HU products, meaning the products which are not having the ID, or the loose products, can coexist with the HU products in a single bin. So that much flexibility we have in EWM, and no need to repeat this. With the HU, with pack specs, with multiple unit of measures, we can map many complex scenarios, especially in the small parts world, like the service parts industry, or the spare parts industry, or the FMCGs as well, or retail and wholesale, of course. Now, configuration and testing challenges using the TRM module is very difficult, right? Many clients, many consultants disappear, or it's nightmarish for many consultants. Even I don't want to work in a TRM project, way back in 2012 or 2010. This started in 2005, the TRM. It's very difficult to configure, what are the different ways a product can move. We need to have all the, permutation combinations, and the probabilities into consideration, and to generate the route. The system will come with all possible combinations in the world. Like the Google map, you can go to a destination through multiple options. So, but in MFS, sorry, with POSC and LOSC, it's very easy to configure. POSC is process oriented storage control, and LOSC is layout oriented storage control. And the other dimension is product dimension, process dimension, and layout complexities. So POSC, a legitimate process or a genuine process, typically happens in a workstation. What are the processes that happens? Value-added services, uh, packing, packing as part of value-added services also possible. Again, kitting also can be part of VAS order or not. Then deco, quality inspection. These are the activities typically happens in the warehouse. LOSC, again, based on the layout, or based on the safety aspects, or based on the equipment restrictions, or it could be just one forklift handing it to another reach truck because of the equipment restriction. Yeah. So now this is a bit of comparison between WM and EWM. Any questions, especially those who have worked in WM, like Aditya or Manish?
No, Rajan, it is clear.
KV.
No.
KV, I would like to, get your more perspective, man. I just want to tap on your experience, 10 years, and Subhash 12 years experience, yeah, and of course Aditya. All right, so
Yeah.
just feel free, just stop me anywhere. Don't get overwhelmed, or just stop me if you're not following, or if you have anything, or you can put in the chat also. Akash can pick those signals, and then we can revert back maybe in the whenever we have the break, or yeah. So the scaling the solution in terms of the axis, right? We have the operational complexity on the x-axis, and then the transactional volume on the y-axis. These used to be the SAP offerings, IM only, lean WM, WM, decentralized WM, which is the daddy or the predecessor of EWM. I would say WM plus DWM plus TRM plus many things equals to EWM. So EWM is nothing but DWM plus TRM plus many features added. That is EWM, and this is evolved actually. The EWM used to be very sticky in 2009 until 2012, I would say. 2005 to 8, nobody cares. That was in the just in the development stage, I would say. But many implementations started way back in 2009 onwards, and we used to struggle a lot until 2012, 13. Then onwards, there were some no looking back, and the last 4 years are amazing years actually. A lot of things have evolved in this S4 HANA once S4 HANA is introduced. Yeah. TRM used to be the module, for all your POSC, LOSC, the multi-step put away. TRM is the only tool available, and many big implementations have gone with DWM plus TRM. Most of them, they have migrated to EWM. Still some, kumbhakarans are there. They will move slowly to EWM. And WM is becoming obsolete, and lean WM is anyway also becoming obsolete. And the new module which is coming is stockroom management. If you don't want to raise SAP any CSN message, or if you don't want to trouble SAP, if your operations are all that you want to work in a mobile device and then do a simple put away picking, then go for stockroom management. If not, think about EWM, whether embedded or decentral option. IM only is anyway different story altogether. IM is a complementary functions and nothing to be compared with the things. But at some point in time, if there is a bin management, that's where the IM story ends actually, because of the increase in volume, the business activities. Initially, they will have a small setup, and then as they grow, yeah. Any questions on this slide, Aditya?
Rajan, can you give an example of how layout-oriented storage control, like
Layout oriented,
any?
you are receiving in the ground floor, and doing the put away on first floor, or other way around. This is a simple example.
Okay.
Or you are moving the forklift, right? You are picking the goods from the staging area and then dropping it in the cantilever. And another crane is grabbing it from the cantilever to the final bin. This is LOSC. Or you cannot go directly, right? It's like a relay race, right? 4 into 200 or 4 into 400-meter relay race. So you're running, you're passing the baton to another operator. The other operator carries, right? Finally, Usain Bolt is ensuring that he's doing the magic in the last mile. Got it? That is LOSC.
Yeah. So in LOSC, also
No
we will
process
have some
happening.
value added
No, no,
services.
no.
No.
That is POSC, a legitimate, genuine process happening. That is POSC, not to be confused with LOSC.
Okay.
LOSC is a layout constraints, right? I'm not doing any process activity, just a layout. I can't go directly. I have to go via, I have to take a circuitous route actually, yeah, because of the column. Some uh, things which are in the warehouse layout, which is stopping me from directly going. It could be the equipment, right? I can't go to level 7, level 8. It has to be handled by a reach truck. Or it could be safety, right? I mean, if I go inside, maybe potential accident might happen. So I have to just give it to another operator. Or a multi-level warehouse. Yeah? These are LOSC. At the upfront, I am, front loading these things so that the freshers also can digest, swallow, or whatever. And then you guys can swim with me from the day 2 or day 3 onwards. So the more you take, don't worry about the acronyms. I have one more sort of Excel sheet. I just use the acronyms, as an energy saving term. but you need not. Anyway, I repeat for the initial days till that acronym is etched. But I'm not also fond of acronym, just a compulsory thing so that I can save some energy. Okay, now comparison of EWM and WM, right? You see, wherever there is the full moon or the what do you call the Amavas, like deconsolidation, right? New moon, the full moon comparison, deco, fully, it's like a new moon, full moon, slotting rearrangement, no support, labor management gone, decentral quality management. Yeah. The locally EWM alone, you want to maintain the quality. No, it has to be coupled with the ECCQM. Multi-client warehousing, only quarter. Layout modeling, you can't do. As I said, if you want to implement using TRM, even though you pay me huge dollars, I'm not going to come in the project. Flexible process modeling, if you want to using the POSC and LOSC. This is one beauty of EWM. You name it, you can just model them n number of points or n number of zones. Even the crane segments, the conveyor segments, it's very easy to do. That's called flexible process modeling using the POSC and LOSC. Okay, see, these are clean cases, where EWM has advantage. And there are put away strategies all taken there. Some additional strategies have been added, but predominantly that remains the same for the past 2 decades. The put away strategies and the removal strategies remains pretty much same. Only some 10% additions are there, 10 to 15%. Wave management, it is there, but it sucks. The entire delivery has to be in single wave. Okay, replenishments are more added, but these are okay, good news. Not much added, compared to either ECCWM. RF technology, the SAP standard one supports 400 plus transactions. But I don't know, nowadays, people are quite crazy. In the ruggedized device also, they want the look and feel. To me, it sounds, very, don't want to say very harsh. It looks slightly childish, I mean, if they are looking at a great look and feel in a desktop transaction, it's okay. But in a small Zebra device, especially the ruggedized device, all that they are doing is navigating from source screen to the destination screen. I mean, what is so great about the look and feel? At least most of the time they used to scan the barcode or the QR code only. I'm not sure about the APIs and the great color coding. Some things are coming. I don't want to sound very pessimistic. So resource management is again a good 50% thing is there. EGR concept was not there. Internal routing and flexible process modeling. These are pretty much having a same thing only, talking in a different way. Are there any questions on this slide? Shravan, Manish, all good? Subha.
Yes, Rajan.
Yeah, yes.
All right, so one more comparison. I'm not going on talking all the way. This is the last slide, maybe comparison. Yeah, WM HU activation we talked about, right? S-lock level, whereas EWM at the storage type level, meaning the loose items are packed products with HU number can coexist in the same bin in one bin. A pick point handling doesn't match with the real world. It's quite ambiguous. Whereas pick point handling, it supports the system steps and the actual steps are in alignment or in resonance. Serialized products can't be managed at bin level. This is on stupidity. I don't know how SAP was running this show for this long. This is like quite a huge gap in SAP. So different controls are possible. You name it, whether you want document level or warehouse level or a full blown one or just some warehouses you want to deactivate the serial management. We can do it in EWM, and with the harmonized serial numbers, we can do a lot of magic in EWM. We feel more emboldened, or we're more feeling more powerful. That's the main thing. The more functionality your confidence level will go, of course, with clarity, with confidence. So complete delivery is assigned to wave. Yeah, this we talked about. And here the famous example, the bar we used to put on the forehead, right? Vertical bar or horizontal bar to connect with the Wi-Fi signal. So this is a nice example, the triple one, meaning one delivery with the triple one quantity, 100 being a pallet and 10 being a carton and one being each, can potentially be in 3 different waves, which we talked about, right? The zone-based wave. So this is the beauty of EWM. One delivery line can potentially be in 3 different waves, whereas here the entire delivery, even if the delivery having 50 line items, it has to be in one wave. If at all you want to do different waves, then you have to implement a custom solution. Section is mandatory. These are all small basic stuff. Actually, this is all not a great topic. Section is mandatory. Section is non-mandatory. Dynamic bin concept is gone because here we can have comprehensive functionality for bin determination. So the dynamic bin determination, the stopgap measure is removed. Bin is unique at the storage type level, whereas here the bin is unique at the warehouse level. Only one fixed bin possible. This is again a stupidity or a sort of huge limitation. I don't know how SAP survived within these many years. Here we have multiple fixed bin. One product is a fast moving item. I can reserve 2 or 3 bins for that product. And then these are some advantages, I would say, but actually speaking, these are loopholes which are plugged in the EWM. Then the TO document item can be compared to warehouse task, and TO header can be compared to the warehouse order, which is your KFC combo. And transfer requirement can be compared to your warehouse request, which is nothing but your outbound delivery order or inbound delivery, ODO or ID. Pick-in area can be compared with your activity area. Pick-in area is nothing but an area which is used to segregate your activities. For example, aisle number 1 to 5, I am manning. Any put away and picking, it's my territory. Aisle number 6 to 10, Aditya. Aisle number 11 to 15, Manish. Likewise, just activity area will help you to bifurcate the storage type and ensure that people are working in their activity areas, meaningful workload distribution, and also printer determination. Many usage activity area is again part and parcel in EWM. At least some 10 usages are there in activity area. These are all technical things. Bin is 10 character length, bin is 18 characters. All your key data structural elements like the warehouse number, all your configuration objects or 3 digits. Here it's 4 digits alphanumeric. Any questions on this slide? I'll just pause here for a few seconds. Aditya. Who else is the WM guy? Govin, Manish. No? Manish MM. Subha MM. Sauro Fresher. Chandru Fresher. Okay, these 3 are freshers. Okay, we have some SD guys. Govind and Shravan. KV also. Okay. Any questions, guys, on the comparison between WM and EWM? So WM was there since 1990, I guess. For how many years it has surveyed? 32 years it's there. At least I know till 1999, I guess. When we started WM in 2000, DWM, it was DWM. And then 2010, we migrated to EWM, like that. Okay, now, which are the, no questions? Okay, let me move on. What are the industries that are best suited for EWM, right? So, of course, the 3PL, because that's their bread and butter. Am I audible? All okay?
Yeah, Rajan. All okay.
All right. Okay. So the best fit is for 3PL service providers. Then the wholesale retail. These are the main things, where EWM is built for the kill. And life science and pharma as well. So life science and pharma, one and the same. Automotive and service parts. Automotive, the Maruti is the HR Motors, yeah. The service parts industry, like the Caterpillar, the Ford. Service parts industries, again, the mining industries, high-tech aerospace industries, all right, defense industries. Industries not suited for EWM or minimal fit or the natural resources, the mining industry or, petrochemicals, where not petrochemicals, the exploration or the iron, the coal India. These are all, not the best fit. You keep pile of, the Vedantas, the coal Indias, continuous process industry, steel and power industry, not real things happening in the EWM front. Utility industry like pipeline materials, no fun there. So there are some industry specific things are there. If I just right click and zoom in a bit. Retail we see the catch weight is there, returns clerk, a Fiori application, pick by cart application, especially the huge cart with multiple slots. They can pick n number of customer orders in one shot. Then the cross docking, wave management, mill products you take a batch and shelf life product, production integration, service parts we need to do slotting to find which is a fast moving, which is slow moving. Kit to stock, I said, right? The service parts, you need to keep them as kit most likely. Kitting also for FMCG, consumer goods industry, kitting. batch management, shelf life management, consumer goods, bulk storage, see, chemical and oil, bulk storage, the floor area, right? High tech industry, we have the serial number management, and then the production integration. Maybe you need to provide the components to the manufacturing assembly lines. Aerospace and defense, quality checks and dangerous goods management, explosive managements, international unique IDs, life science again, ATTP integration, batch self. There are overlapping things. It's not that one industry takes, but you need to know whenever we say industry, at least we should say 5 or 6 bullets. Industry specific, you should talk about it actually. Let's now talk. What are the retail specific things? Quickly, anyone? When we say retail, what are the typical ones? Industries specific to retail. What are the functionalities specific to retail?
That catch weight,
Catch weight,
merchandising.
Walmart retail, you say, different types of unit of measures. That's one thing. Wave management, catch weight management. Mm. If you say the petrochemicals, then batch management, the bulk storage, right? Similarly, the high-tech industry, we have serial number management, IUID, International Unique ID. These are the important things. Kit to stock for service parts. Yeah. All right. So now this is a slightly old slide, but still I will run this. As I said, there are 3 tracks now going on. You as a consultant, you should know. But now, henceforth, SAP is only supporting cloud only. Not even on-prem. Whenever you want to buy a new license, EWM license, it's all cloud only, no on-prem. Yeah? Now, let me just get the Zoom pointer option. Now, this is a traditional one, the business suite or the classical customers. They're there since 2006 onwards, EWM 5.0, it started. Now they are in 9.5, Now 9.3 SAP migrated. The next track happened. S4HANA introduced. S4HANA was introduced in 2016. Actually, it gained traction only in 2017 onwards. This is a nice release. This is just pre-release, I would say. 1709 is the actual release, and 1809 they used to remember the September month. Nowadays, 20 onwards, year is just taking precedence regardless of the month. So 1909 it's September, but 2020 and then 2021 these are the new release. So this is an old slide. Just bear with me. So the EWM S4HANA world is there, and then the cloud options are there. Cloud also we have decentral and then the multi-tenant and single tenant cloud options. Now, as I said, all are implementing in private or public cloud or even SAP cloud. So nobody is looking at on-prem, maintaining the server and all. It's just fading away now. Okay. But the main takeaway from this slide is one code line. SAP is going to code in this cloud platform and then going to port over to the S4HANA and then downport it to the EWM business suite actually. So it makes easier for them to support all the customers in the interim period till maybe 2030 or we don't know, maybe in the coming 10 days or 10 years or something. Yeah. So the one code line, that is the bottom line. 3 tracks are there. That's another takeaway. Business suite or classical customer, and then S4HANA, and then the cloud customers. Any questions on this slide?
The functionality wise, all the 3 has the same.
Functionality wise, at this point in time, we are saying that there's a minor mismatch here and there. You buy this, you get that option. You buy this, you don't get that option. There are some limitations in embedded. There are some advantages also in embedded vis-a-vis the decentral. But there are some limitations in business suite also. Business suite, slowly SAP, if you are not taking the S4HANA, maybe 3 years, 4 years down the line, SAP might give a stepmotherly treatment to the business suite customers. Even though they say downported, but they have to wait actually, for that thing to be there in business suite. But at this point in time, there are some limitations in some environments. We will discuss them. Any other questions? How about the freshers? Are you guys following? Chandru, Saurav, Swarna?
Yes,
Yeah,
Rajan.
Rajan.
Yeah, mostly able to catch up all the things.
Should I slow down a bit, or is it okay? My pace is okay. My accent is okay, or
Yeah,
Everything
all
is okay,
the things
Rajan.
we are able to get it.
Get it right? Yeah. Just stop me. Maybe
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
especially on an energetic day, I would go in fourth gear, fifth gear. Just stop me. You are the governors or the brake is on your legs. Which inbound processing, storage and operations, outbound processing. What are the different functional areas in EWM, right? So in any typical implementation, you need one consultant for inbound, one for outbound, one for I would say ground control or storage and operations. Other than the inbound and outbound, pretty much all. For example, physical inventory, replenishment, kit to stock management, all that falls under the storage and operation. Again, this is not sacrosanct, just a indicative one only. For example, the TU processing, it is there applicable for inbound, also for outbound. It is not that only for in transport unit processing. Whereas the inbound quality management means it's only for inbound. In fact, the quality management is not available, or it's a limitation, or the feature is not released for outbound, even though the logistics supports the outbound QM. But in EWM integrated scenario, we can't do the outbound quality. Okay, we are more concerned about the inbound quality only, but we ensure that the outbound quality is also taken care before sending it to the customer. And there are some cross topics like yard management, resource and labor management. This will fall neither on this nor on this outbound. Yeah. So inbound process, like the inbound quality, internal routing we talked about. You do unload, deco, VAS, quality inspection, and then put away. Storage and operations we talked about, right? And then the outbound processing, as I said, mostly operational intensive, or it's more of wave management, peak optimization, not in terms of picking rule. Picking rules are very straightforward, FIFO or LIFO only. And then the analytics, right? The KPI analytics, using the core data structure, the CDS. If you are able to, modify the CDS, it's well and good. Otherwise, with the SAP provided CDS, you can just use the services with the middleware OData, and then come out with nice flashy reports, very um, things. So the TCA, TCO reduction, there are many things. Total cost of implementation and ownership reduction, and the analytics we talked about, the KPI, Fiori analytics, and the embedded analytics. Transit warehousing is a concept for e-commerce industry. For example, all your HUs are moved to the pigeon slots, interim, what you call the area where you go and collect it, right? One slot allocated for you. The delivery, the last mile delivery, the customer can come and pick it from there. It's just a mini warehouse where the customers can go and collect. The delivery can be picked from there, like the Swiggy's, delivering to the office, right? They deliver it to a common location. From there, each employee will have a slot, and then you can go and collect it from there. The Swiggy guys will not know whether what is there. All that they know, this HU is meant for Aditya, or the HU is meant for Chandru or Subha. That's it. Whether Subha ordered non-veg or veg, they don't have any clue. So that way, in the transit warehouse management, only we have the HU visibility. We don't have any product visibility over there. Then the labor management, especially in the developing countries or in the Eurozone, even in the US, it's not a big deal. Labor management, yeah. We need to constantly track the labor and ensure their incentives are, based on the meritocracy, and also the comparison between the planned and actual workload, and then caution them, before it gets ugly. Uh, yeah, native technology we talked about, the radio frequency and the radio frequency identification. These two are different. The radio frequency means using the mobile device, you are connecting to the backend system. But when we say RFID means you are using the tags, which can collect more data, and then it can send the signals. In this case, it's just a barcode or a QR code. Here we talk about the RF identification tag. Implementation tools like the migration guide, or the cookbooks, or the tool-based wizards. These are all SAP proprietary ones. Material flow systems are the ones which are SAP standard one. Again, it communicates using the telegram messages to the ASRS system. ASRS system would be used frequently, which is an automated storage and retrieval system, especially the crane system, the picture which I showed you a while ago. Okay, these are the functional areas. And then let me just show you a basic process, right? The inbound process. I say the inbound process. Sometimes, people say goods receipt process, but goods receipt is just one event in this process to me. Okay, now we have the ECC or ERP or S4 core, all one and the same. Some customers might still be using EWM as a decentral connected to the ECC application. They are not migrated to S4 HANA, whereas they are implementing S4 decentral. So I just use the term ECC. Whenever I say ECC, you can obviously, think about S4 core also, the core. So we have the purchase order or the manufacturing order or the stock transport order against which the vendor is sending the ASN. ASN is the advanced shipping notification, wherein he shares the pertinent information like whether he can deliver the quantity requested on the date requested. And also he can share some additional information like batch, serial number, HU, blah, blah, blah. All that information he can share, which is called ASN, the data which is exchanged electronically or using supply network collaboration platform. Then in EWM, it creates a notification document. This document is again fading away. This is going to be obsolete at some point in time. Now itself, it is not applicable for embedded, and for decentral customers, they can turn it off if they don't want to. Okay, against which you create the inbound delivery, and this is the only document in EWM. Other than that, there are request and task. We know uh, the task is created against this inbound delivery, and these tasks will always come with the warehouse order because we can't give the task individually to the operator. It would be overwhelming to him. He says, hey, give me a bundle. I don't give the french fries. It's just giving the french fries to them one at a time. It's quite annoying. Or maybe french fries directly. So that's why I'm saying the warehouse task can't be given. We need to form them as a bundle, as a meaningful bundle, and give it to them. Even if you are moving one pallet at a time, still there is one WO, one WT, one WO, one WT. Even if you move one at a time, one pallet at a time, yeah, still you need to have the WO. And this WO is not happening separately. It's all happening in the same LUW, logical unit of work. Meaning before save or the commit job, the WO is created. So if you look at the inbound, all that we have is only one document. For the time being, you can just forget about this. This is only for the classical customer, or if you're dealing with non-SAP ERP. But if you're dealing with SAP ERP, then there is no point in having this document. All your checks and balances, whether your master data or your number range and blah, 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 all the checks and balances, we can have it in this document only. There is no need to have an additional document. And just in case if you are using the yard management, then we can think about the TU arrival and manage the TU. Like you can do a security check-in and then move it to the parking bay and then docking it to the door. Or you may be doing some, weigh bridge, capturing the weight of the goods. Finally, the GR is triggered. GR is triggered only, but the actual posting happens in the ECC only. That's why I'm using the term triggered. But nevertheless, we have one document in EWM also as a proof of the material document that is called warehouse material document. So as I said, the GR can be triggered before put away or the GR can be triggered after put away, as you like or as the client likes actually. Sometimes, you want to do the GR before you are doing some quality inspection or, value-added services. For that, you need to post the GR because you are not a magician to, pull a rabbit out of the sleeve or something. So for that reason, you need to post the GR first. But if you are uh, just doing a direct put away, then you can trigger the GR anyways after the put away confirmation. But the only flip side or problem with the drawback with this GR posting after put away is assuming you are receiving 100 pallets, and even though we have placed 95 of them, due to whatever reasons, the 5 of them are delayed or problematic pallets, the remaining 95 are not available for sales commitment. So that is the only limitation when you post the GR after all the put away completion. But there are three more modes available, GR mode available. I will touch upon that, later, maybe in the coming days. Any questions on this slide? This most important one, 30,000 feet level, especially the freshers to understand the flow, the document flow, and also the sort of process flow.
So, Rajan, Aditya here. One question. So, inbound delivery is mandatory for us to replicate that to EWM, right? So, if the client does not use inbound deliveries for some of the procurement, so we cannot perform that in EWM, is it?
No. Thanks to BMW, off late, recently they have introduced something called synchronous goods movement, meaning you can do MiGo and directly, the stocks are available in EWM, like we do it in WM.
Okay.
Especially
So
the production receiving, or the industry wherein all the vendors are not biggies. There are many small medium vendors who cannot be hooked up to any collaborative platform, meaning bottom line there is no ASN expected from the vendor, right? Simple. Or production receiving, or sometime other receiving. So there's something called synchronous goods receiving. So that scenario is there for purchase order and production order both.
okay, so in that case, once we post the goods receipt in ECC, it will, sorry, once we post the goods receipt in the MyGo or some transaction, it will transfer that goods receipt to EWM, and with that, we'll again create warehouse order, task, etc. Right? Or
Straight
it will
away you get a
direct.
task. Automatic task
Right.
is created. The moment you post GR in Migo, you get a
Okay.
task. All that you want a task, right? At the end of the day, in the warehouse, what the people are doing, the poor guys are doing only task confirmation one at a time. When they confirm all the tasks, assuming in the warehouse order there are 5 tasks, when they confirm the last task, the WO gets confirmed. Even though the workload is assigned by the order, but they do one at a time. These are
Okay.
important terms, one at a time. They do one task at a time. So in synchronous goods receipt, when you post the GR, immediately a task is created. Or it's up to you. If you say always I am receiving some packaging material that would be adjacent to the work center, then the goods are straight away placed. You don't even need a task. But that is an exceptional scenario. But normally what happens when you do Migo, the task is created automatically.
Okay.
No inbound delivery, nothing. And also keep in mind that you can do the receiving in EWM also, meaning the vendor is not sent the ASN. He is coming with surprise. He's a regular vendor, maybe a consignment vendor. He's showing off daily, but there is no need, or just in time schedule, or whatever, whatever reasons. You are doing the receiving in EWM first. You can create an inbound delivery in EWM, and it's your prerogative, whether to replicate the delivery back to ECC or just a material document communication to ECC. Because post facto you might not need a inbound delivery in ECC because it served the purpose. Anyways, we got the inbound delivery in EWM. Understood?
Yeah, it's clear. And
There are many ways actually. Just keep in mind this is not the only way. Yeah.
yeah. And with one more question is, with one inbound delivery, we can have multiple warehouse orders also, or is it?
Yeah, one inbound delivery, obviously, right? If there are 10 different unloading operators, 10 warehouse orders, right? Or 10 different, for example, you receive the huge cage of item. Then you do to sorting them in individual trolleys. A trolley A bound to destination ABC, trolley B bound to destination DEF. So you got to do the sorting. So one inbound delivery can be in multiple orders, or multiple inbound deliveries can also be in one order. There is no.
Okay. No, thank you.
Yeah. Good, Aditya. I'm liking it. Any other questions before we move on? So if you compare, again, we are not doing great comparison. We are just slowly, coming out of the memory lane. ECCWM purchase order. Then we have the LE IBD. Many customers are not using IBD, so that directly post MIGO GR, equivalent of the synchronous goods receiving. Then a TR is created, transfer requirement. This is just like a planning document, like your purchase requisition, against which you have the TO, transfer order. As I said, the TO can be compared to your warehouse order, the TO header, and then the TO items can be compared to the tasks. But if you just compare, there are two documents in EWM, warehouse order and task. On the other hand, in ECCWM, we have only one document, which is TO. The TO header and TO item basically mimics these two documents. And TR can be compared with your inbound delivery, which is nothing but your TR, your WR, warehouse request or transfer request. It's all one and the same. It's essentially a planning document. What needs to be moved, how much needs to be moved, and when it has to be moved. What, how, when. Not how, what, and when. What means which SKU, when means which time it has to be moved, and maybe how also. Yeah. What else? Any other questions on this slide? I'm going to show you a quick demo. Just follow me. I'm going to create a PO on the inbound delivery. And in my system, I am using an embedded EWM. So I don't have the notification, right? Straight away, we have the inbound delivery. But for decentral customer, S4HANA customers, if they want, they can use it. As I said, this is making more sense as a first gate, like a security fellow sitting in your main gate, to do the checks and balances. He's not allowing the people inside directly. So this means you are a normal person. We don't have a huge gate, just taking everything, and then we are doing the checks and balances here at our veranda. Any questions on this slide before I show the real quick demo? A quick time check. 11:47. I just have 15 more minutes to shoot a demo, a basic demo, an inbound demo. Let's see how it goes. I'll share the credentials with Akash. You guys have access, but just my humble request is not to create planned or do something very exploratively, like company code creation, plant creation. All of us are using the same plant code only. This is single plant multi warehouses. You'd be have a dedicated warehouse. My humble request is not to create plant, so just use the plant and create your own warehouse by copying. I will guide you basically. We have some exercises, and these are quite complex exercises. I have designed them for people who are having MM experience or SD experience or LEWM experience, especially LEWM experience. But try to follow. These are really um, precious one. And as I said, based on these are taken from SAP trainings and many other trainings, and my experience has been put in as well. So now I'm just showing a vanilla demo. Are you guys following?
Yeah, yes, Rajan.
Shared, right? The screen is shared, right? Okay. Now let me just go. I'm going to create a PO. Let me take two materials, for example, LP17. LP1 is large part. So you guys will have your own suffix. For example, 01 is Aditya, 02 is Chandru, 03 is Subha, like that. So you should use your own materials only, the suffix corresponding to your warehouse. And you got to work in your warehouse, so no trespassing, so that it's easy. One is like, it's easy for me to support you guys. And for any other blog or any other questions, if you are doing exercises in the interim, I will connect one of my colleague, a junior colleague, so that he will help you in the WhatsApp group also. I will just add him in the group if I am not available. Okay, so I just take two materials just to show you, and then take 10 each. So the PO is created and the plant and the location is defaulted, RD07, received on dock. And the confirmation control key is mandatory to create an inbound delivery. The confirmation control key is mandatory. Any MM consultant, can you just throw some light on the CCK real quick, from where it can be defaulted? Subha, Manish, Aditya.
Yeah, confirmation control key will be defaulted from the purchasing info record.
Right.
So yeah, so this generally mentions how our supplier is going to communicate to us, whether he will directly ship the parts to our site where we do a receipt, or prior to his shipment he will send us a notification, which we call
Acknowledgement or
yeah,
notification, yeah.
advanced shipping notification we call. If we once he sends that, it can be integrated into our system as an inbound delivery. It can be
Right.
either through EDI or manual we can create, and all these confirmations will create an inbound delivery, and with reference to that inbound delivery we do a goods receipt.
Right. Beautiful. Excellent. Yeah. So the ASN is basically the confirmation control key can be defaulted, as he said, from the purchase info record or from the vendor master or from the, the contract or from the configuration. So one takes precedence over the other. You should know um, something like it's a big topic, but I think the contract takes precedence over all the above, So that is mandatory to create an inbound delivery if you're collaborating with your vendor to get the latest and greatest information. Now I save the PO. Then I go to the 414 is my PO. I just go to VL31N, assuming the vendor inbound delivery is created manually. Normally, this is created through IDOC or automatically through the the services, web services. So this is my vanilla demo, van dem, van demo. Today's date 21/6. Let's start the species start. Okay. Now 414 is the PO, and you can see the stock placement tab. The plant storage location is married to the interim warehouse, and my warehouse is EWM managed. So if you see my warehouse is EWM managed, how do I know whether it's a EWM managed or ECC managed or DWM managed? So I just quickly go here, logistics or execution, EWM integration, basic setup, configure EWM. So my warehouse number E7 is EWM managed. The flag is saying that's EWM managed. If it's a blank, that means it's a local WM or ECC WM. Else you can have it decentral WM also. Still some clients are running in DWM. This is where I started my SAP days or WM days. And then whether to distribute it immediately or to delay the distribution. For sometimes, you may be having the incompletion control, or you're waiting for some packing information, especially the outbound deliveries, or you may be running the delivery and distributing it to EWM just in time. You don't want to delay the operational folks 10 days in advance, whereas you need to create the delivery for doing some transportation planning, or whatever, maybe mostly the transportation planning. So in that case, you don't distribute the delivery immediately. The batch determination preferably has to happen in EWM. I will cover them everything little later. So at this point in time, all I want to show is this warehouse is EWM managed, meaning the interim warehouse E7. Now, system will look for the distribution model. Okay, the moment I save the delivery number 447 created and distributed to EWM. Even though it is a embedded environment, still it goes through QRFC. For that, we need a distribution model. Okay, so the good news is the decentral, the embedded EWM, there is no baggage for master data like the product master or batch master or the customer vendor master, but they got to live with this transactional data. The transactional data, still the queue monitoring, the headache is there, even though they are embedded customer. Don't assume that it's all happening in one box. There is nothing to be monitored, tracked, or nothing of that sort. Still, the transactional data has to be tracked. It just goes to a dummy logical system and then bounces back and comes back, like you're going and eating the ceiling and coming back, something like that. Even though you don't have the technical RFC connection to a different environment, but still you have a dummy RFC connection, dummy logical system. So now I have my inbound delivery number 447. You can just go to the EWM monitor. MON is the transaction. You just need to prefix it with the /n/SCWM. SCWM is supply chain warehouse management, followed by the T code. Now I just go to the monitor and my warehouse number is EW07. I can see the folder hierarchy here. One folder for outbound, another one for inbound, and one for physical inventory. To see all the documents, we have one nice folder. Stock and bin all in one folder. There is no need to go to multiple transactions like in LEWM, LS24, LT21, to remember, and it's all, things are gone. Now everything in single transaction, the monitor. From there, you can jump to different transactions, or you can just complete the business here itself. Now I'm going to the inbound delivery and I give the LE number, which is my number 447, I guess. Right? What was the number? 447, I guess. All right. This is a number, WAN demo 2107. This is my ID. If you see my document, this is the ID. Okay, so far we know the PO, we have the IBD. Now we are talking about the ID. This is a EWM document, ID, also called as mother document, also called as warehouse request. And you see there is no notification, one and only document, which is the ID. And as usual in SAP, everything we have the header, and then we have the item, right? Item, if you want to close the item, we can open the item. And then we have the sub item also, wherein we have the schedule, serial numbers, and some other information, hierarchy information. But mostly at the header level, we have the vendor, the partner, the receiving office, the ASN number, the door. But at the item level, we have the product, the quantity, the batch, the country of origin, the staging bay, all that information at the item level. You should be using a Fiori application, but I am just telling you upfront, our focus is on the features, functions only, not on the front end, the gimmicks, other things. If you are just looking at the Fiori, that's not the agenda of this training. One is the time constraint. The second one, I'm not. My purpose is to provide you a training in the functions only. there are other technical challenges. That's a different thing. That's also one reason for not showing the Fiori. But Fiori, just a front end only. Nothing great about it. But the functions, the configuration, the process mapping are more important. If you're following and if you're paying attention in these 40 hours, you may be picking up the process mapping skills from me and also the configuration skills. That's most important. Okay, now where are we? As I said, the actual transaction in the real world, if people are doing the GR, they would be using this transaction, GR transaction. I just open another session, GR transaction. So this can be compared to your Migo, So there are ways to do the open advanced search. I just can put the delivery number directly, EWM number. LE number is ECC number. But if you want to use the same number, it's okay. You can do it. Or if you don't want to introduce a new number, it's okay. So I close the advanced search, and this can be compared to your Migo, wherein you can select all and you can pass the checkbox to post multiple GRs. Or you can just post item-wise GR or HU-wise GR. All that are possible, here. So this is a much better screen. It is also scanner enabled, not a handheld device like the POS scanner, you see in the retail stores. So the scanner is connected to the desktop, and you can scan the HU or the product code or the batch code, all that. So this is the transaction built for the receiving, desktop receiving, or the equivalent Fiori application. Nobody uses this transaction, which is called the PRDI. This can be compared to your your VL33N or your ME23N. Any questions up until now?
Yes, Rajan. So regarding
Hmm.
that MIGO transaction which you showed, right, in EWM, where can we control the stock type, like in quality or unrestricted? We have
Yeah,
those options here.
yeah, we have the stock types, like see here, we have the stock types, 10 quantity. This
Oh,
is the stock type, I should bring it, this is ALV. Basically, you can set the views and then save it as a, whichever fields you want it, you can, customize them. So this is a stock type, right? So for example, F means unrestricted and B means block, Q means quality, or is reserved, sorry, customer return.
okay.
Got it. So now I'm going to do GR. As I said, GR is quite flexible. In EWM, there are 4 ways to do the GR. So let me just post the GR for the first line item and keep the second item open. I don't post the GR. So first item, I post the GR. And then these are HU managed things, So that's why I need to pack them. Maybe I'll show you how to pack it in the mobile device for the second line item. So the first line item, I posted the GR. But if you check the document in ECC, the GR might have triggered for the first line item. 18447. All right, the GR might have been posted. See, GR posted for the first line item. Now what I'm going to do is like, let me just create the task for the second line item, and I will do the put away. So I will show it in a mobile device, right? Normally people do it in the mobile environment to do the receiving activity. So for the second line, I'm going to show it how to do it in the mobile environment. Now let's just go in display mode. Let this transaction be there. I don't want to lock. I just open the RFUI, radio frequency user interface, RFUI, radio frequency user interface. This is just the equivalent of your mobile device or a desktop simulation of the mobile device. You can imagine or pretend that we are using the Zebra device. My warehouse is EW7. I'm taking the forklift 7, or I'm doing the receiving. So inbound process, receiving of HUs. Right, this is a tiny screen shown in that Zebra mobile device, the RF device or the handle scanner or the whatever we call it, HHT handle terminal. It's the end of the day that ruggedized device, or you can talk about the smart devices also nowadays. So now receive HU by ASN number. So I think I put van demo 24/6 or something. I don't know. Whether it's already processed or does not exist. Okay, I'm just processing the delivery somewhere. This is the one. Not sure. I just got backed off. Let me back off. Where is the delivery locking? I'm not locking anywhere. Okay, maybe I entered the wrong number. Okay, incorrect number. So
It
just
is
go with the
2106.
yeah. I'll just go with the number only. So receive inbound by delivery. I just put in the delivery number. Oh my god, 2236. Yeah. So now I can say here the standard mobile supports only receiving of HU products. Okay. If you want to receive the loose items, then you got to create the task in the backend. So now I just say new HU, and for the second line item, I'm going to pack VT LP2 07 10 quantity. I scan the product code, the barcode, and I punch in the quantity, and then I press enter. So then I say next. So now I can scan the packaging material also, which is there in front of me, the barcodes. Normally I use a palette or, a Euro palette or a chef palette or a whatever palette. So I have the barcode of the packaging material done. I constrict the handling unit. So I packed into a handling unit. My handling unit number is 817106. It has the product, package and quantity. If I want to change the quantity, I can, do it now. If not, I can just move on and I can post the GR. Sorry, I have to do the unloading, so I can't do it. So I just show you how to create the task in the monitor. Sorry, bear with me. Actually speaking, you can do everything here itself, meaning a small warehouse or a mini warehouse or wherein it's a one-man show. He can do the receiving and he can do the put away himself. So that kind of design is available in this mobile transaction. But I'm going to show the task creation in the backend. So I just go to the monitor and here, if I check the inbound delivery, so there are two line items. For one, the GR is posted, completed. The other one, it's not started. All right. And for the second one, I'm going to create the task. I have the handling units. See the handling unit number, and I create the task. I create the task in the background. So now the task is created. One item failed to create via certain two requested only open quantity, whatever. Let me see whether the task is created or not. So I have the task is created for the pallet, moving directly from the door to the rack, which is very, very rare scenario. Normally you do the staging, but assuming there is a heavy, diesel generator you're receiving. So you don't want to stage them, while you offload from the truck directly, you can do the binning also. Or the mining example, the mining client or the heavy at moving equipments, you can directly move from the door to the rack bin also. This is not a good example, nevertheless, so you can confirm the task. As I said, always the task document will not be a standalone. It would be having the order, even though it's a one order, one task, sorry, one task, still you have one order. Okay. So you got the order. Without order, you can't assign the queue. Without queue, you can't assign it to the operator. You can't give the French fry. You have to give it as a combo. Any questions on this understanding of the document? The key takeaway of this demo is to understand and to pick up some tips and tricks from me while I'm doing. I can confirm the task here itself, or I can do the put away of, assuming I am the put away operator. So I have this HU number, right? So I can just use this HU number and I can do the put away in the mobile device. I'll show you how to do the put away. So let me take this HU number. So now you see the task is available status, it's not confirmed. Blank means available or open. A means cancel, B is waiting, and C is confirmed. This is a task document. You can open the form view. See, this is the form view to get a snapshot of the details, or you can just go to the list view. List view is a table structure, and whichever fields you want. For example, these fields I don't want, I can hide them, and I can save the layout. I can just save the layout. I can put it in my warehouse, in my layout name. Got it? So this is list view and the other one is form view. Always we can toggle to list view and form view. And monitor, just keep in mind, there's a tree structure and then there is a parent node and then the child node. From the parent, you can drill down to the delivery line or you can drill down to the order, or to the tasks or to the HU, you know. So that's about a high level. You should have some navigation going on in the monitor. Now, as I said, I can confirm the task straight away here using the method. Wherever you see the gear icon, the tiny gear icon, there are several methods available to confirm the task, to cancel the task, to confirm it in the foreground or in the background, or to cancel the task. But I will show it in the mobile device so that it completes the scenario. So I just back off F7, F7, F7. So I am no more the receiving operator. Now I am the put away operator. So I go to the put away by HU, right? This is the handling unit put away. So I scan the HU number, which is a barcode. So this is my HU number. So I just copy the number, and assuming this is a scanning of the barcode, and then store type not transferred. Okay, before doing this, you got to do the GR. If at all you want to do the put away, because I'm doing a complex. Don't worry, I don't want to complicate. GR is not mandatory, actually speaking, but in this particular case, GR is required because the data forces that. But it is not a standard case. So I got to post the GR. Let me post the GR. So let me just post the GR. So I post the GR. And then now I can continue here with my put away. So I just back off F7, put away by HU, and I scan my HU number one more time. And okay, forget it. The data is not good. Maybe I'll show it the tomorrow session. The data is, I need to prepare the data. The PT13 is not good enough, but because it's directly going from door, that's why. So at least now you see the loop is closed. No problem. We will repeat the demo tomorrow. It's one more time we will do it. Maybe in a blessing in disguise. Uh, so far you understood some concepts, right? The inbound delivery, the GR is posted, right? Both the GRs are there. One for the first item, the second one for the second item. And in EWM, spend some time. This is your document header and item, right? From here, there is no notification, only the one document. And from here, you can check everything in the monitor. So you go to the inbound delivery, you can just give the LE number or the EWM number, right? Or the ASN number, right? Or the bill of lading number, and then get your document number. And from there, you can jump to task or to the HU, or from the task, you can also go to the order, yeah, and confirm it from here. I can do the confirmation from here. If I can't do it from there, I can do it from here. The unloading task is here waiting now. You see the GR from staging area to the door to the staging area. The unloading task is there. So I can confirm this unloading task, and then I can complete the put away. So the unloading task is completed. This is a multi-step put away, not a direct put away. Unload and then put away. Now I have my task open, LP2. I can do it in the mobile device now. I don't want to log off. I say inbound process, put away by HU. Normally what happens, the operator, he remembers this and directly enters 331 shortcut. So straight away he goes there. Sorry, F7. Inbound process is 3. Put away is 3. Again, put away by HU is 1, 331. That's it. And then the HU is scanned. And now I can scan the product and I punch in the quantity, and I scan the bin location, the barcode available at the destination bin or the final bin location, and then I can just scan the HU one more time. But if you don't want to scan the HU, it's okay. Here we are moving from a source HU to the destination HU, meaning I am using a temporary carrier, and from there I am transferring it to the cage, which is there sitting in this bin. It's basically adding to the existing stock. So I scan the cage barcode, and I'm done with the task confirmation. So if you see in the monitor, the task is confirmed. If you refresh it or click the button, the task is confirmed. And for this item, I'll show you how to do it in the desktop confirmation. So one more way of confirming it. So I open the confirm in the foreground mode. So here I can just go to the HU, because HU is mandatory here in the rack storage. HU is mandatory, so there is no escaping. I can't store the loose products. I got to store the packed products, just not packed, but with the HU number. So I can construct the HU here. I just go in the foreground mode and I give a packaging material here. Just create and give a packaging material, STD, palette, and I construct the HU and I confirm the task. I should copy the HU number over here, and then I confirm it and save. All done. The inbound loop is completed. How do we know the loop is completed? Because for the inbound delivery, you see all are C confirmed, and I go to the inbound delivery and I check the status. Just give me 2 more minutes. I'm done. Sorry about that. Status, and you see the DCO is 9, meaning the inbound loop is completed. After that, there is no reversal possible. If at all you want to do some cancellation, return to vendor, you need to open a separate outbound track. Are there any questions on this demo? Okay, with that, I'm done for the today agenda. Oh my God. Where is this? This tiny little thing is not coming. All right. Thanks a lot for your attention and your patience. I will talk to you tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m. And the recording would be there for you to review. And any other questions before we wrap this session?
Rajan, Kerry here. Just one question. So the handling unit number, which got generated in the process, so that's going to be the same even when we use the same part or same box to ship it to the end customer. So it's like once it's generated, that's going to be there till the end of the process, whatever is the transaction, right?
No, it's not sacrosanct actually. For example, you might receive a pallet and you ship the pallet. If you want to use the same pallet ID, it's okay. But if you're receiving a pallet load and still you're keeping the pallet ID and taking the cartons out, and shipping them, then the pallet stays in the destination bin, And once all the cartons are removed, the pallet ID gets cancelled or deleted automatically.
Right.
Sometimes what happens, you are getting a carton, right? Identification number, but actually speaking, you will tear the carton open and then drop the individual widgets. So in that case, the carton ID is not retained. It depends on the scenario.
Okay, and that's going to be just only one level, or
it can be one level or multi-level. If you have an inner pack and then an outer pack and then a pallet, then it's a 3-level. And it depends whether you want to retain the ID for the lower levels or it's just a pallet level you want to track. Maybe some customers, they will see the receiving, they don't want to create bottleneck, printing and capturing and pasting the label for every carton. It sucks actually, it is very laborious. So they say, okay, just capture the pallet label, and when doing the replenishment, I will ensure that I label the cartons.
Okay. So, but it's feasible. At all levels, we can generate the
all levels,
HU.
all things are possible. You name it, we can do it. Yeah.
Okay.
KV.
Right. Thanks, Raj.
All right, KV.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.